It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Stacy, Jeff, and Ant are all here. We'll talk about Bluesky versus Mastodon. The CEO of Alphabet, Sundar Pichai, goes to the White House. Tomorrow, Google adds Passkeys. We'll talk about the pros and cons, and is at the end of the line for Vice. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig.
This is Twig. This Week in Google, episode 714. Recorded Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. Stuck in an elevator with the Crypto Boys. This Week in Google is brought to you by Miro. Miro is your team's online workspace to connect, collaborate, and create together. Tap into a way to map processes, systems, and plans with a whole team. Get your first 3 boards for free and start creating your best work yet at Miro.com/podcast. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show we cover. Well, we've decided pretty much everything in the world, including we're going to add a new AI section to the show. Hello, everybody. I'm Leo Laporte. Sitting to my right, Stacy Higginbotham. Hello, Stacy. From StacyOnIoT.com and the fabulous IoT podcast with Kevin Toffel. Stacy is our chip and IoT guru. Ant Pruitt's also here from Hands On Photography. He is also our community manager. So he is our arts and sciences guy. Our arts. Actually, yeah, Stacy's science, your art. It's perfect. It's perfect. And then what does that leave for the Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York? He's got his galleys. Are those the galleys?
Galleys. There's the galleys.
For the Gutenberg parenthesis.
Yeah.
I was not sure because usually galleys have many, many Post-it notes in the margins. But you have just got
too late to change anything.
Oh, it's too late. That's the.
It's too late.
That's not the author's. That's the author's copy, not the last.
You should never read it after you've gotten that version.
Well, I put something in my. I cut and paste a paragraph into my post about Ben Smith's book, which, by the way, is very good. Which I also.
Oh yeah, I have that on pre-order. Yeah, that means it's in my mailbox now.
I found a typo in the paragraph that I cut and pasted.
Golly. So maybe you should just have cut and paste the whole book, and then you would have quickly found.
Yeah, all the typos,
all the errors.
By the way, this is very good. This is very good.
Oh, I can't wait to read it.
I wrote a post about it on Medium.
I'd love to get Ben on one of the shows. He's too big. He's too big a big shot. Probably.
He might not. He wants to promote the book. Yeah, it's his first one.
You know who's going to be on Sunday, Stacy? Your old colleague from Gigome, Yanko Ritkers.
Yanko, he was going to be my pick of the week.
Okay, good. I won't say anything then. Your pick of the week is going to be on Sunday.
As much publicity as he deserves it all.
Exactly. Speaking of new books, yeah. I think Yanko's great, and I can't wait to have him on. This is, it's funny, last Sunday, kind of without planning it, we had the perfect panel for the Bluesky adventures. We had Jeff was on, which was
We just happened to have 4 people who actually were in Bluesky, which helped a lot.
Yeah.
I want to be in Bluesky.
I have an invite I'll send you if you want to. I wish I could send you my account.
Okay. Can I jump in here and ask a question?
Yeah.
She wants to be in Bluesky.
Yes.
But
why?
But
why?
But not Mastodon.
Because Bluesky looks more familiar to more familiar and less work on my end.
So it's just the T-shirt that it's wearing, regardless of what's under the T-shirt?
No, I think it's a T-shirt that doesn't have a lot of complicated snaps and issues with it that I'd have to fix.
Ant,
it's a T-shirt that I wear like a T-shirt.
To be fair, you raised this point in our Twit community, in our forums, that normal people are baffled by Mastodon. Whereas if you're already on Twitter, Bluesky is just like Twitter. In fact, that's
why normies liked Post.news until they found out it was boring.
Right.
Because it looked familiar.
Well, and I have to point out that Bluesky has kind of the same flaw as Post.news, which is, at least for now, it's centralized and it's got Jack Dorsey all over it. I have to say...
He's a ghoster.
Pardon me?
He's on Nostr. He's not on Bluesky.
He's on both. He's on Nostr too, and he's funded both. Right? He put money into both. Nostr is another attempt to capitalize on Twitter's failure, and it's also decentralized in theory, but not in practice. Neither Bluesky nor Nostr yet is federated, whereas Mastodon is. And every time I go on to Bluesky, I go, why? It's starting to be a lot like Twitter, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a good way.
Pixel,
huh?
It's like pixel for pixel, like Twitter.
Yeah. Well, not only looks like it, but all of the poop.
I see the people I already follow.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly.
That's what they did. They brought on.
See, I thought the whole time this was federated, decentralized.
In theory, it will be, but it is not yet. It is really, at this point, exactly like Twitter. They sent out, it's invite only, but they sent out enough, 50,000, that they've got, and they're, they already have a CNN anchor on there who's mentioning what they call skeets, which is the horrible name.
Oh, boy.
Jay does not want. She does not like that.
The CEO doesn't like skeets because it has a sexual connotation.
Right.
I think it's kind of a cute name, but I thought it should be.
Now I have to go look up.
No, don't. You know what it means. I wanted to be Bleats because it's Bluesky, so it should be Bleats.
Oh, I like that. Bleats, nice. Yeah.
You could have a little lamb. Anyway, it's too late. That's too late. Guess what? And in fact, that's kind of my reaction to Bluesky. Like, yeah, they have all these great plans to be federated and have all sorts of moderation capabilities, blah, blah, blah. It's too late, I think.
I just had a fascinating discussion. I called Dave Weiner to interview him for the book I'm working on now. I just got off the phone with him. And he said that Rochko at Mastodon had the benefit of being under the radar for a couple of years.
Yes.
He said, Bluesky is out in public. He said, everything's going to happen in 2 weeks.
Yes.
They're too public now.
They're speed running the moderation curve, in Mike Massnick's phrase.
As Masnick would say. Yes.
And I think that's exactly it. And Mastodon, I kind of like because, just as you say, and it is a little kind of confusing. So only people who are strongly motivated to be there are there.
Which Stacy is, and she doesn't want to be with us there.
That's all right. Honestly, I think it's in a way it's good that we have these choices because that
very much so
sorts the people. And those of you who want to be on Bluesky, be on Bluesky. That's fine. There is one good thing that Bluesky does, which I actually think I wish Mastodon did, which it allows you to create your own handle based on a website that you control or a domain that you control. So instead of being
kind of verification,
that makes it like a REL.
Sort of, except that it's right there. So if you wanted, I was Leo Laporte at bsky.social or whatever it was. But you can easily go in there if you have it's very geeky, but it's harder to do than rel.me. If you have DNS control of a domain, as I do for leolaporte.me, you can make that be your handle. So if you search for leolaporte.me on Bluesky, or in theory it's federated affiliates, it will always be me because that's mine. So that is smart.
So I could do it to Stacy Higginbotham?
Yes.
Because I own that domain?
You could be, as long as you control DNS, you have to put a text field.
Which you happen to have someone in the house who's very knowledgeable.
I bet you Stacy could do it. It's just a text field.
She knows what she's doing.
No, Andrew will do it.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
There's that.
I wasn't going to assume.
Hey, honey.
I mean, you don't have to. He does handle all of that, so I don't have to. I have to.
You have other things.
Worry about different things.
More important.
Have you tried others, Leo? Have you tried Spoutable or Ann?
No. I don't want to be. I'm really done with centralized. I think what Elon did to Twitter is very likely to happen to others. And
it was a favor in the end.
I got on Bluesky, had high hopes for it. Still do, I guess. I like the AT protocol. There's nothing wrong with it. But the more I use Bluesky, the more happy I am about Mastodon. I really think this is my home. And I can read my home feed now in Mastodon. I've followed enough people. I've figured out, there's enough good people on there that I could follow this and really get everything that I want from Mastodon. Twitter, I still go to Twitter once in a while because, if you want to know what's happening at the Met Gala, Mastodon's not the place to go.
There was a roach.
I saw the roach video. And what I really
Rihanna
loved was all the
or Rihanna
cameras
was
following the roach up the steps of the Met Gala.
Well,
Adorable.
Was it? But here's the question. Was it really a roach or was it just Doja Cat in disguise? It was Jared Leto's third outfit. He went as a cat, as did Doja Cat. But
he went as Choupette. It's very important. It's not just any cat.
It's the cat.
Carl's cat.
Carl's cat. I don't really want to honor Carl because I think he was a loathsome individual. Very nice designer, but not such a nice guy. And body shamed people and all sorts of stuff. And
total jerk.
Yeah. So anyway, but we talked about the Met Gala last year and got a lot of heat. So no fashion, no fashion.
I was going to ask Stacey for a tour of the Met Gala, and now you've cut it off.
Okay, what was your favorite outfit?
Mine? Oh.
I'm embarrassed to admit that Lisa and I pulled up the Vogue live stream of it on Friday.
Oh, no, I watched it. I watched that. And, I mean, it's awesome. Like, Doja Cat did a lot of work on the fake cat
like
prosthesis.
Doja Cats, yeah.
But my favorite all-in outfit was probably actually Bad Bunny's tux, because you don't see a lot of innovation in a tux, and his tux was white and normal in the front and then backless in the back. And then his handlers also had a backless tuck, and they did some cool jewelry action. And then he had that beautiful flower cape.
I kind of liked Pedro Pascal's look.
No.
No, he didn't like that?
That did the least.
That's the only thing I saw.
Adam Massari was
Pascal.
Yeah.
One of my friends.
The internet's daddy.
Absolutely adores him.
Here's Bad Bunny. I like.
Now wait till you get the back.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're going to see it.
Turn around.
Maybe.
So you got to turn around?
I hope so.
Turn around.
Otherwise, what's the point?
It looks very stiff. Oh, that's weird.
There it is.
Oh, my.
That's very weird.
I like it. You never see interesting things in menswear. And that, I feel, could be doable. All right. Moving right along.
I am really sorry. I did not mean to get sucked into the vortex. Okay, I got to show you Pedro Pascal's just so you know
what musicals are.
Oh, yeah.
They hate
and
this.
Jared Leto, show him Choupette. Show him the cat costume.
Okay.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had underneath that a regular outfit that was cool, too. This was his regular outfit, where he looks like the Prince of Darkness. Let's see if they have his...
Janelle Monáe did a good job, too.
Love Janelle Monáe's.
Tom Brown, yeah.
Can you believe Lil Nas X? And I won't turn him around.
I was just like, oh, my God. When he was scampering around like a little puck, I was oh, my gosh.
But the mask was really cool. It was really cool.
It's quads.
Look at this is the mask. Oh yeah, no. I said Lisa, he's got a better butt than you do, but that was not.
I was about to say his butt is really.
That wasn't taken well. He did, and he doesn't. I might add. Okay, just want to be clear about that.
Boy,
where is?
I would just Google Jared Leto Choupette.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Sorry, Chad.
It was a good. Yeah, this is the musical theater of Twig.
Exactly.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
How do you spell Choupette? CHOU?
CHOUPETT.
Okay.
Google will fix it for you.
Look at that.
Worry.
The face was really well done.
The face was excellent.
Yeah. Very believable.
I mean, when he showed up, everyone was like, what?
And he was dancing around. Choupette, and there he is.
I got a question for you. So I saw BuzzFeed did a feature about what they wore at the gala and then at the after party, and they also had another outfit for the after party. Did they have like a locker room they all change into?
How
did they change?
Oh, did you not read? Okay. The New York Times did this great thing ahead of one of the big, like the Grammys or something. And it was all about how they get them dressed. They drive them in a Sprinter van standing up so they don't arrive mussed. And then they go to a hotel. They've all booked a hotel that's near the venue. And then they go back and they change into their second look of the night. And
this is, by the way, late stage capitalism. This is what, at the end of the Roman Empire, I think they were doing something like this.
This and the coronation this weekend.
Oh, God. The coronation. I decided I want to live toot the coronation.
Oh, no.
Are you going to do, so anybody here want to do the Pledge of Allegiance to the king, the new king?
Oh, isn't that obnoxious?
No.
Read the room, Chuck.
I don't even do the Pledge of Allegiance to
your own country.
Our flag.
Traitor.
Amusing ourselves to death, says John. Exactly. The Archbishop of the Archbishop of Canterbury. I call him the Archbay myself of Canterbury said, if you wish, during the coronation, there will be a period of time. I guess the last time this happened was 1956, right? So we don't have a lot of history on how this is done. In the past, the nobles would pledge their allegiance to the new monarch on bended knee, my liege lord and all that, very medieval. But in the new modern social era, the Archbishop of Canterbury says you can all do it. When we do it on TV, just repeat along.
You hearing the noise?
It's the end times. I'm hearing the noise of the world collapsing. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm hearing a
I'm hearing a whirring.
Can you guys fix the whirring?
It's gone now.
It's gone.
Sorry, I brought it up. It was probably on its way to being fixed. But this is what happens behind the scenes, folks. This is breaking the fourth screen here.
It's live tooting the coronation.
That's the title of the show already. We have it.
You have to be up at what time to do that?
Oh, really? Do we have to be up early to play?
11 a.m. UK time.
Oh.
That is.
That's 3 a.m. our time here. Yeah.
I don't know if it's 11 a.m. Hold on.
Here is...
what time is the coronation?
Well, believe me, it's all day. I mean, you're going to be able to get up at 4 in the afternoon. It'll still be going on, I'm sure.
Because he needs more love.
That's so depressing.
Get rid of the monarchy.
Well, let's talk about Google.
Okay.
Google is very much in the news today. In fact, the biggest story really should be in the changelog, but I'm not going to bury the lead here. This morning, I got up early and signed up for Passkeys. Google has turned on Passkeys for your Google accounts. This is the new passwordless technology that the FIDO Alliance has been rolling out. Google, Apple, many other companies, kind of saying they support it. So, yeah, and what you do, if you go to your Google account, first you have to pay for Wired. Then you go to your Google account, which, as you know, I have paid for, but I still get this no matter what. Let me go to google.com/ what is it? My account security. I'll try security.
Security.
We keep your personal information. Oh, they're going to make me log in. Nope, they're not. Okay. Your account is protected. If I go into the security settings, it will say and you can see, you can show this. There's nothing to hide. I added a passkey at 6:09 this morning. And,
nice.
You already recognized it, it says. Well, so I don't care. I want to see it. New passkey added to your account. If you didn't add passkey, somebody may be using your account iPhone. So now my iPhone is my Google login. And all I have to do when I want to log into Google is do the biometrics on the iPhone, in this case, Face ID. And I'm logged in. No password required. No second factor required. And a number of people have said, do you really want that? This isn't that new because I notice I have other passkeys. I have a total of 4 passkeys on my account. And the reason being, and look at this. I guess I do have to still do a password. So the reason being, when I got my Google Pixel and my Samsung, they kind of were added as the single sign-on masters of my account. So, but some people complain that the issue is, what if you lose your phone?
Right.
I think the best
That's one issue I had, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, don't.
Because
do they have like recovery codes?
Yes.
Yeah,
you have all the same. You're not giving up any of the other ways you had to log into Google.
Okay. So you still
adding
have a password to your account, right?
Yeah, you still have all of that stuff. But the risk if you lost your phone and it wasn't locked or somebody could figure out your screen, and of course the Wall Street Journal's been going crazy over this. I don't know how legit it is that, oh my God, people are shoulder surfing you, getting your login and then stealing your life, and they have like 3 people this happened to. I don't think it's that common. Yeah.
Wait,
I didn't even have to say it. Thank you, Ann.
Yeah,
Didn't even have to say it.
Or if you stole my phone with it unlocked, like I unlocked it and then I put it down on the bar and then you just snarfed it and kept it unlocked. Well, at that point, but see, you still need the Face ID. When I go to Google, it's still going to do the Face ID.
Shoulder surfing?
Shoulder surfing my passcode to get into the phone.
Like looking over your shoulder to see the...
Yeah, you've never heard that phrase? Yeah.
No, that's...
Yeah, that's why, well, you can thank shoulder surfing for the dots that you always get when you're trying to enter a password. And you can't see what you're entering. Sense. That's to prevent shoulder surfing.
So if I'm logging into my Gmail account on the web on my computer, what the process for me then looks like, I then pick up my phone and...
Well, that's always been here. Yeah. You've probably seen that when you go to your Google account, after you enter the password, the 2-factor can also be logged into your phone. You've seen that, right? Yeah.
I have 2-factor on my...
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out what the normal
this eliminates that
experience with this is.
I think that will eliminate the password part. On one device, so I've been trying it in different ways. It did not happen here. One of the ways, on one of my systems, I got a QR code, which I then had to use on the passkey-enabled device to enable the new device. But I notice here that they want my
the QR code with your iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's in theory how Passkeys would work if you went. So let's say you sign up for the Macy's site. It could show you a QR code, which you would then use your passkey. Your phone is now your passkey, right? Your phone has this passkey store, and you would then scan the QR code. The phone would do Face ID or Touch ID, and Macy's would let you in without a password. That's the idea.
Is that the equivalent of doing sign in with Google? So Google's going to now know exactly where I'm signing in if I sign in with
that's an interesting the privacy question. I didn't even think of that.
Right. Is it stored on device or is this cloud-based? That was my question.
So not all passkeys go through Google.
Okay.
Passkeys is not a Google thing. It's a FIDO Alliance thing.
Right. But if Google is running...
No, in fact, even when I log in with passkeys to Google, iCloud stores the key, not Google. So the device stores the key. And Apple does not know what I have in my passkey storage. No, that would violate the whole process. That's a secure.
So basically, Google's now allowing this passkey to be used to sign into its sites.
Yes, and if you use a Google phone, it's a secure enclave on the Google phone, but it doesn't get passed on to Google, I don't think. No. I'm sure it doesn't.
Got it.
That would mean it's not secure. It'd be stupid.
May I add something here?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you think Mastodon is complicated.
Guess what? No. That's not it. That's not it. Guess why I'm mad. Guess why Jeff is mad.
Oh, because you have a worksheets account, whatever it's called. Workplace account.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And does it not work with that?
No. Oh. And so it says, well, see, you're administrator. Well, I'm the administrator. Where's Amir? And then I go and I try to search for workplace or whatever the hell it's called this week and passkey, and there's nothing. There's not like even out of luck, sucker, or wait, or nothing. I'm the second-class citizen again, Google.
So
something like this seems like it should roll out to workspace first before rolling out to the regular folks like me, right?
Right. In fact, at our school, we were not compliant, and everybody in the whole school had to do 2-factor so we could be compliant with Google's standards for higher security. And so what they have is on what they would, I guess, argue are lower standards now. Pisses me off, Google.
Are you Stacey, are you eating a sponge or is it just a really big cookie? I'm sorry, that was mean. All right, back to passkeys. So long, this is the Google blog, Google security blog post. So long passwords, thanks for all the fish. Little tip of the hat to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Starting today, you can create and use passkeys on your personal, not workspace, personal Google account. When you do, Google will not ask you for your password or two-step verification when you sign in. In a way, this is like a YubiKey or a hardware security key. The difference is with the hardware security key, you should have a backup key in the safe at home or somewhere secure. So if you lose the one key, you still got the backup key. Passkeys, they say, are a more convenient and safer alternative to passwords. They work on all major platforms and browsers. And this is the mechanics. Allow users to sign in by unlocking their computer or mobile device with their fingerprint, face recognition, or a local PIN. So now it's a passkey in the sense that device is like a security key. It's the passkey.
And I guess the transition from old device to new device will be fairly seamless as long as you still have your original password.
Yeah. So when I set this up on the iPhone.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, when I set this is a big issue. When I set this up on the iPhone, Google said, okay, your iCloud Secure Enclave now has the key. So that's up to Apple now to give me a way to migrate that. And
oh, jeez.
I don't think I think this is a little complicated, to be honest. I think Apple will let you export it to or move it to another Apple device, but I don't think they have a mechanism for moving it to an Android device. No, I don't. Yeah, right. And forgive me if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, please correct me.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, no, I know. But we've been talking about this. No, this started months ago, right, with Apple's announcement and Google's announcement. And we've been talking about it in security now. We've talked about it on this show, and it's still a little fuzzy. It says, unlike passwords, passkeys can only exist on your devices. Again, this is Google. They cannot be written down or accidentally given to a bad actor. When you use a passkey to sign into your Google account, it proves to Google you have access to your device and are unable to unlock it. Together, this means that passkeys protect you against phishing, right? Because a bad guy doesn't have your device or the passkey. And any accidental mishandling that passwords are prone to, such as being reused or exposed in a data breach. So that's the good news. This is stronger. This is what Google says, and I don't know if I agree with this. This is stronger protection than most two-factor methods offer today, which is why we allow you to skip not only the password but also the second factor when you use passkeys. In fact, passkeys are strong enough they can stand in for security keys for our advanced protection program. That's quite interesting. That's the program Google offers to members of Congress and other high value targets. To extra protection, you have to have two hardware keys. It's a very, you lose a lot of functionality. So this is, I guess, if you believe all this, this is good. Creating a passkey on your Google account makes it an option for sign-in. This is important. Existing methods, including your password, will still work in case you need them. For example, when using devices that don't support passkeys yet. So really, you could still fail back to the old way. Passkeys are still new, and it will take some time before they work everywhere. However, creating a passkey today still comes with security benefits, as it allows us to pay closer attention. Oh, that's interesting, to the sign-ins that fall back to passwords. So maybe that's a signal. Maybe this isn't the most secure. Maybe we should take a look at this. Over time, we'll increasingly, now this you could take two ways. Over time, we will increasingly scrutinize password logins as passkeys get broader support and familiarity. They're kind of, in a way, doing what Google often does, which is, we are so anxious that you move to this more secure method, we're going to start deprecating or being suspicious of the old method.
Right.
And they are clear. They say that Google does not in any way get access to this information. And I think that's the case with Apple as well.
When I first saw this news, the first thing that came to my mind was if I go to log into my Google account on a different laptop here at the house, it does the little send a notification to
that's the single
device
sign-on thing. Yeah.
And I'm like, dang it. And it always sends it to some other device.
To get up
never
and
to the phone that's right here.
So Apple gets heat for doing the opposite. It sends it to every device, including the device you're using to log in at this moment.
Right.
It says, is that you? Yes, it's me. So I don't know what the right answer is on that.
Good security, Ant, means you have to walk around your house.
Exactly.
I'm like, dude, man, that thing's in the car and it's sending it to the car. And, it's
the other
annoying.
thing about passkeys is you can create a passkey for every device. So you can, in theory, have a passkey on all your devices, so you don't have to go up and get any device.
Okay. Well, that I feel better now.
In addition,
Scooter X says,
go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
He says that you'll be able to store, manage, and use your passkeys in 1Password, which would help with the moving from device to device. I don't know if that was
1Password has announced support for this. I imagine all password managers will eventually. There's a little caveat there because
I was about to say, if we're still into the password.
Yeah, well, it also, of course, this is their way of staying current. But how do you get the passkey into 1Password? Since it's living in my secure enclave on my phone, this requires Apple to allow you to export it. And currently, they don't. They allow you to move it, but not export it. I don't know. There's a lot of questions. This stuff is brand new. For example, if you create, this is again Google. In addition, some platforms securely back your passkeys up and sync them to other devices you own. For example, if you create a passkey on your iPhone, that passkey will be available on your other Apple devices as long as you're on the same iCloud account. That's why they call it an iCloud passkey, because it's stored in the secure enclave in iCloud. This protects you from being locked out of your account if you lose a device. And it makes it easier for you to upgrade. So when I get a new iPhone, in theory, the passkey is in the cloud and will be passed over to that. I think that still lives in the secure hardware enclave on the device, but I think it's copied from iCloud somehow. If you want to sign in on a device for the first time, a new device, or temporarily use somebody else's device, you can use a passkey stored on your phone to do so. You want to know how? On a new device, you just select...
I don't know because I'm left out of it, but go ahead.
So your Pixel isn't on your personal account?
My personal account is my Google work account because that's how I could use Buzz Machine.
Got it. On the new device, you just select the option to use a passkey from another device and follow the prompts. That's interesting. So that's more like what you're used to, Ant, where you sign into Google and then it says, "Oh, go get your Pixel."
Yeah.
You can manually tell it, "I want to do that," but it doesn't. This does not automatically transfer the passkey to the new device. It only uses your phone's screen lock and proximity. So you do have to go get it and put it next to it. I guess it's using Bluetooth LE or something to approve a one-time sign-in. If the new device supports storing its own passkeys, we can then ask separately, "Oh, you want to make one on the new device?" So eventually, I guess the premise is all your devices will have the passkey.
Yeah.
On, right?
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I just have this vision you kind of brought up, Andy. If your car is working with this and you lose your phone and you can't get in your car to go home to find the thing in your locker at home to turn on the phone to get the car going, and then you're screwed.
Well, if you lose your car keys, you're screwed too.
Well, you're not going to have car keys anymore, Leo.
Oh, dude, I just wrote about the digital key standard, actually.
CCC. I put it in the
CCC.
rundown.
Oh, thanks, Ant.
So I was curious to hear your thoughts on it. But anyway, we'll get to that.
But yeah, that's a digital car key, so that's totally different.
Yeah, and I have a digital
passkey,
car key, and it's horrible. I wish I didn't.
Well, this one doesn't work like yours. It's a new...
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Dog scares her.
So I finally
you have a dog. We just want to let you know.
Yeah, just in case you weren't sure. That's all right. Go get... You know what? She might like that sponge you were eating. So this is the passkeys. This is my... You could show this. This is my passkeys interface. So I had already, unbeknownst to me, basically had passkeys. Android devices automatically create passkeys for you when you sign in your Google account. So my Galaxy S23 Ultra, for some reason, has 2 passkeys, as does my Pixel 7. And then this is the one I created this morning, the iCloud keychain. And then I have, and it's in the same space, these are YubiKeys. These are the hardware keys. So
any of those will work?
These are all considered passkeys. So in effect, and I think this to me makes sense, your phone is like a hardware key. It's like a YubiKey. And that makes sense, right? And it has the same caveats and concerns. Don't lose it.
A lot of people don't have YubiKeys. So.
Yeah, and this is easier than YubiKey.
Much easier.
Right. And unlike a YubiKey, I do have one YubiKey that has a fingerprint reader on it, but it doesn't work very well with anything. Don't. So unlike the YubiKey,
is it because your fingerprints get away as you get older?
No, it's a.
no.
No, I don't have good fingerprints anymore. I can't even come into the country without having to talk to someone.
Yeah, that's why I don't wash dishes. I say, Lisa, I have to preserve my fingerprints.
Nice one.
No housework for me. My fingerprints are all.
So yeah, it wasn't a knock on your age. It was just like, oh, do fingerprints not work?
I like to pretend to be offended. I'm never offended, really. The YubiKey fingerprint reader, it's if it doesn't recognize your finger, then it locks itself out, and you have to launch the YubiKey. It's not a good solution. So in a way, this is better because it is biometrics. As opposed to just physically having the phone also has to biometrically recognize you.
Right.
So I guess it is more secure. I mean, I'm sure Steve Gibson will talk about this on Tuesday on Security Now, but we've talked a lot about passkeys and the problems exporting passkeys, one of them. There's no guarantee that, Apple will let you export your passkeys for use on Android, for instance. But I'm glad. I'll tell you what, Google doing this is a big story because this opens the floodgate. It's been around for months, and a few sites have done it, but nobody really does
Didn't Microsoft do it? Microsoft was part of it.
Yeah, they were part of it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And there is a directory of sites that support passkeys, but here's a dirty little secret of that. Most of the websites that support passkeys took a shortcut and used a third party
of course,
to do the passkey, not their own servers. And so there's some question about whether that's...
How many banks do you see on there?
Oh, none. No bank's ever going to do this. Best Buy, Dinero, DocuSign, eBay, Google Now, Kayak, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Okta, that's a security company, PayPal.
Oh, there's PayPal.
Yep. Robinhood.
That's like a bank.
Shop
I see pastry there. I think it's going to be
Shopify.
a pastry company, but it's not. It pisses me off.
Pastry.
Everything pisses you off today. Babe.
Yeah. And the
does.
funny thing is, it even has a cake icon as its logo.
That's just wrong.
That's mean.
That's just wrong.
Virgin Media,
Worst
the
branding
world of
ever.
Hyatt, Yahoo Japan, not Yahoo anywhere else, because that's separate companies.
Separate
And
company.
Zoho. I don't see any. I don't see B of A. I don't see Chase. And you know what's
Well, I
sad
ask
about?
because banks still do bad with just regular 2FA. A lot of banks are still sending out SMS.
Yes.
SMS for 2FA instead of.
And the reason they
using
do
some
that is
other-
because they have those normal people that you keep talking about, Ant, that can't figure this stuff out, understandably.
Yeah.
And they understand getting a text message with a code. And so banks are not going to get rid of that, even though they know it's less secure, because they don't want to handle the complications of, if I could find a bank
Those
that
tech
wouldn't
support
do
calls.
SMS, I would do it. But as far as I know, every bank does for that reason. Anyway, you can see there's only 41 sites right now that support passkeys, including Google, Microsoft. Even Apple doesn't. And here's the 1Password passkeys demo. And then this is where you can vote for passkeys support. These are the companies that don't yet support it. Apple, Amazon, Netflix, LinkedIn,
Give 'em a
YouTube,
nudge.
Disney Plus, Steam, Spotify, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, Instagram, Facebook, Airbnb, HBO Max. None of these supported. Adobe, Venmo, Booking.com, Proton Mail. But you can vote for it.
Wouldn't Apple in particular be for this? Considering how they're always.
Oh, yeah, they're right
sort of
behind it. Oh, absolutely.
touting everybody about how bad their security is versus Apple security. It seems like
I
they
think
would be
That's
first
why
in line to make sure this is a go.
I think they're watching what happens with Google.
Oh,
It was
okay.
one of those after you, Alphonse. No, after you.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
let Google get, and it's right for Google to do this, I think. Let them get all the complications and the complaints and, make everybody feel better. And then I think Apple and Microsoft will do it. Microsoft already has a
Jeff
single
Jarvis
sign-on.
rants.
Yeah. Jeff Jarvis rants. So 1Password is one of the big companies that does this back end support. So a lot of times when you go to a site and they're doing passkeys, they're not even doing it, which I'm not crazy about. So
I don't know. I mean, do you really want Best Buy handling your passkeys?
Right. Well, in theory, it would be good because, all that would be is authentication for their site. It wouldn't give you but now because a centralized thing would have passkeys for a bunch of places. That's more concerning.
Well, but if you because if it's stored in a secure enclave on your device, what is someone like Best Buy actually implementing? Just the encryption, like the PKI, to get the secure authentication between your device and their, like,
I don't know if it's PKI, but I think it probably is something like PKI. So they have something on. They have your public key, and you have your private key, and they make sure that they enter. I'm sure it's something like that. I'm sure it's not like they have everything.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just like, oh man, because I look at all the vendors who I have to give like passwords to and whatnot, and I'm like, and they lose them all the time. I'm like, I don't know if I want something biometrically attached to me out in the world.
That's why I feel like only a hardware vendor with a secure hardware enclave should be allowed to hold private keys, right?
But you mentioned that it could be stored in iCloud, which is a server.
Well, they call it the
else.
iCloud. Yeah, I don't know. They call it the iCloud key. I don't think it is. My understanding is it's stored in this secure hardware enclave on my iPhone in hardware. But were I to get another iPhone, Apple would handle the transfer from this, or the copy from this to the new iPhone. But I think each device has its own secure hardware enclave with the passkey. I don't think, despite the name iCloud, it is stored in the cloud. It shouldn't be. It should never be in the cloud. Okay. That you're right.
Well,
that would be awful.
Because when you said that, I was like, there's no.
That's what they call it.
There are secure enclaves in the cloud, but
that was the story last week. Was that you were able to move these things to the cloud.
Okay.
This was the big question that came up when Passkeys came out, and Steve and I talked about this. He is adamant there is no company as yet allows you to export it to another company's. Like, you can't go from Apple to Google or Google to Apple. You can go from Apple to Apple to Apple to Apple.
I'm getting information from Mr. Kevin Toffel.
There's the man.
He's sending me a nifty little link, so I'm going to drop this in the chat.
This is probably the FIDO2 spec.
Well, this is Apple's discussion about it.
Oh, yeah, Apple also talks about it. He's saying
to me, Passkeys check if you have the private key locally. No third-party service has it. Okay.
Right.
And so what's in the cloud is just going to be a way to check if you have it.
In iCloud Keychain, passkeys are end-to-end encrypted so even Apple can't read them.
Right.
This is Apple. It's,
So it's actually in Keychain, or iCloud Keychain.
Right.
Oh, but then you have to turn iCloud Keychain on, which is a suck, because then you've got to enable all the cloud stuff associated with Apple, which is also a suck. I know you have to do it if you're using an iPhone, but I don't, and I don't want to do it on my iPad.
Right. And so you're going to use some sort of Samsung solution. They have that, Knox enclave. I think it's going to be very similar, but the question is, can Knox talk to iCloud and Google? And my understanding when we talked about this before is Apple has implied that maybe there'd be a way to export it, but they haven't yet done that. That there is no way to export it to some other platform. And I understand for security reasons, you probably don't want that, right? You want to keep it tied to your hardware. And it's convenient for Apple because then you really don't want to get an Android phone. You just want to, and Google's
That's
doing
what it
the same
sounds
thing.
like.
Yeah, Google's, but they can justify it, right?
Buy an iPhone.
I think, frankly, as much as we lauded this and as much as we know that passwords are terrible, this ain't the solution. And Steve, who created his own similar but better solution called Squirrel some time ago, spent 7 years working on it, has pointed out that was really the problem because he was supposed to be working on something else. and he went to Squirrel. So I don't know if he did it on purpose, but Steve did develop something that he says technically is better, but it's Steve Gibson's solution, not Microsoft, Apple, Google's solution. So I think it's just kind of a non-starter. And honestly, he says, and I think he's right, Passkeys is not as good. But remember, we always make these, just like the banks, these trade-offs between real security and convenience.
So not as good.
Well, not everybody needs real security. I mean, like that's the other thing to think
true.
about. You gotta assess your risk profile.
Right. You want to protect. Look, if you use Gmail as your main mail account, you want to protect your Google account a lot. You want to do whatever it takes. That's why I have a YubiKey.
Yeah, that's why I have multi-factor and a YubiKey.
And if I could, but I can't, because Google won't let me. If I could, I'd turn off everything but the YubiKey. Maybe they will let me. I haven't tried. I would turn off everything but the YubiKey. And maybe
they just don't want you to call if you lose it.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same reason they don't do end-to-end encryption on Google Authenticator. Remember last week we had the story, Steve Gibson was talking about this as well. The Google Authenticator will now synchronize between phones, to which a company called Misk pointed out, yeah, but that's not encrypted. So, and Google said, yeah, that's intentional because we don't want a lot of phone calls about I lost my secret keys. This is always the equation. See, Ant, this is why I don't care about real people. They make it bad for the rest of us.
This is why he likes Mastodon.
Hey, look, man, I'm real people.
He's among his people.
No, you're on Mastodon. You're using it just fine. You know, the biggest issue, and I agree with you, and you brought this up during Twit, Jeff Jarvis, is you're not getting, unfortunately, good representation for black people on Twitter, or on Mastodon, for instance, as we did on Twitter. You don't have black Twitter on Mastodon. But you are getting, by the way, whoever these people are that organize Black Twitter have moved somewhat en masse to Bluesky.
The four conveners of the Black Twitter event that I held at my school,
they're all there.
Meredith Clark and Andre Brock Jr. and Charlton McElwain and Jonathan Flowers are all there.
Yeah.
And what I'm reading since, and what happened was someone on Bluesky was very intentional. And they gave a lot of invites to somebody who knew who to invite. And that was recognized and seen. It has quote tweet, it has search, it has a different motif, but mainly it doesn't have the culture that Mastodon had that more than we want to know was not welcoming. I've said before on the show that Adam Moss, I watched him go against Dr. Jonathan Flowers, a leading expert in Black Twitter, and just dismissed anything they could possibly bring of any value. And just build your own damn thing then. It's open source, right? Which was, as Flowers said to him, is your way to say F me. And so one of the great hopes I have.
You say that they say that Black Mastodon was not welcoming to Black Twitter. Multiple.
And I'm not blaming that on Rochko or anybody in particular.
Right.
But there was a unwelcoming geek culture. The other thing that happened on Mastodon, which was very offensive to people, was when people would put up something that had to do with politics and equity, someone would come in, this is pretty much gone now, but would say, use a content warning. Well, no, I'm not going to use a content warning for your delicate little soul about the life that I have to lead as a black person.
Yeah.
The
hell with you. And
I got a lot of the content warning stuff about images at one time. And I'm like, really? But okay.
I have to say I support and like the content warning and alt tag culture of Mastodon. I think in the long run it's intended to be inclusive, not exclusive.
For certain things.
For all things. I do content warnings when I post about our server. Not everybody wants to hear about Twitch social server.
I'm sorry you're too delicate to deal with racism in America, but that's what some people were saying was, you should, wait. You should put, people were being told, you should put that behind a content warning. And what does that then say? Part
of the problem with it is the name content warning, which is a mistake. It should just be a headline because it's just a headline. Yeah. If you don't want to read this message, this is what it's about. It makes it easy to ignore stuff.
Yeah. I agree, but that's not the way it works.
I understand. Well, it is the way it works, but it's the name implies that it is somehow to protect your
well, that's also how a lot of people enforce it, Leo. They don't use it like you. They say, I'm offended by this. You should not put this out for my eyes to see.
That's what I got. I didn't get what you get, Mr. Laporte, as far as how you use it. What I got was, I am offended by this. You should have done this. You should. Well,
okay. And I understand. I think they're not really saying I'm offended by this, but early on when we had a big influx of people. Early on we had a big influx of people from Twitter. There was a misunderstanding of the culture, and people were trying to explain that the Mastodon culture includes content warnings and alt tags. And I think that it came off as being like a cop. which was not what it should have been. But there was this attempt. Yeah. There was a reasonable attempt to try to say, look, this isn't Twitter. Now, I have to tell you, in my opinion, all that energy you're putting into Bluesky, you're going to deeply regret. I do not think Bluesky is going to end up being the welcoming, loving place you hope
we'll see. They did add in blocking. One of the problems was they got to 50,000 people. They didn't have blocking in there. There were people who were planning to come in. And there was also a funny thing. People in my world really can't stand Matt Iglesias. And so they went after him just because, why are you here? So it was just rude. And they added the blocking in. But the problem is, we talked about this a little bit on Twitter, is that there's a chicken egg problem here. That they can't really test things and build things until they have enough people to use it. And they don't have enough people to use it until they built the things. And problems are going to come up, and then it's going to have a bad reputation from those problems. So they're on a high wire. They're very much on a high wire. I think I got 5 invites. I went out and I used one myself. I then told 4 people, I have an invite for you. And then they didn't work because they expired.
Ooh,
and then I've tried to get more invites, and they haven't given them to me. I think they've slowed it down to 0 right now to try to hold it off for a little bit.
As they try to figure out content moderation.
Yeah, I mean, Leo, I think this is my conversation with Dave Weiner, is it's good to have competitive things out here.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a Joe Esposito special?
Yeah, thank you, Joe Esposito. Twit.tv/screwrealpeople. Yeah. Stacey, do you want a Bluesky invite now after having heard all this?
I do want a Bluesky invite. I still want one.
I'll give you one.
I think I am
I have one left.
Bluesky candidate.
I have one left, and I really want everybody who's on this show, and at least, to be on Bluesky. So, as long as mine hasn't expired.
So, someone has an invite, send me one, and
you don't have one either?
Look at it.
Oh, I thought you were on it.
You can send it to Ant first.
I've searched for Ant every day.
I didn't really care. You know,
you can give it to Ant.
This is a little social moment here.
Now I've got problems. I wouldn't have said that had I known Ant wasn't on it.
Who do you choose now?
Ant is physically closer to you, so I think you should choose an Ant.
So Ant
I don't even have the punch Leo button. I mean, my goodness.
Who do you love more, Leo?
Oh, my goodness. I'm just going to be gracious and let you take it. Or give it to Ant.
Oh, no, make him sweat. Make him sweat.
This is Leo's choice.
Oh, actually, I should, because you called out me trying to eat my lunch, even though I was trying to do it so subtly and quietly.
You deserve the invite, you say. You've earned it. Honestly, if I could give you my account, I would. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there anymore.
That's not nice, Leo. There's nice people there trying. Give it a chance.
Very trying.
Oh.
All right.
That's why I want
grumpy today.
That's why I want
My goodness.
That's why I want you and Ant to be on there, because I just want to know what you guys think of it.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy.
We'll get there eventually.
I requested an invite. That's what I'll say.
Me too.
I did request an invite last week or something. But
Brianna Wu was on Twit Sunday, and her interest was, she was very much that Black Sky needs to invite all the journalists and all the prominent people, and that's what's going to make the difference. Now, others will resent that, and that's a very unmastodon way to look at things. The real people. But it's interesting to see where it positions itself. A lot of the question is going to be, does it actually federate? Does it do what the protocol says it's going to do, and when is it going to do it?
I also think right now it's very much like Twitter. So if you liked Twitter, you will like Bluesky, I think.
That's true.
One of the reasons I don't like it is because although I miss, I would really like to see the this is what hurt me, was I want to see the authoritative news sites. NPR left Twitter, right? And of course, Elon Musk's response is, oh, good, I'm going to assign NPR to somebody else. Which is, that'll make it much better. Twitter will be so much better when a fake NPR. But what I'd like to see, and NPR is on Mastodon, I'd like to see all of the news sources, all of the governmental issues and stuff. I'd love to see AOC. She went to Bluesky. She, as far as I know, she has an account, but I don't think she has much of a presence.
She uses much, no.
Yeah. So on Mastodon. So I'm jealous. I think the people who are going to Bluesky, there's a lot of great content people going to Bluesky that I wish they would have looked at Mastodon or maybe they did look at Mastodon. I wish they would have liked it.
I got pulled into a discussion with Mr. Jarvis. Listener Miss Adriana pulled me in to some of her followers or friends or what have you, talking about Black Mastodon and how it doesn't seem to be taking hold the way Black Twitter did. And one of the comments was Black Twitter was so big to where people thought it was a whole different app versus being Twitter. And my response was, well, Mastodon just seemed to get the attention of quote unquote normal people like 10 minutes ago. So it's really, at least for me, it's really hard for me to expect Black Twitter to just explode and get the prominence that it had on Twitter, on Mastodon, like right now. I think it's going to take a while because of it's got to become more popular to normal people and get all of the guardrails in as far as blocking trolls and things like that. So I don't see why people are just so up in arms about, well, Black Mastodon is just not getting it for me. Well, you got to give it time. It's just going to take some time.
So Ann, I just put up on the rundown for your line 92, Jabari Evans, who's a hip hop artist who now is an academic and a PhD who studies especially young people on social media. He came to the Black Twitter Summit. He's a brilliant academic, and he wrote a really good essay today. And he was nice enough to say that I helped inspire him to do it, along with Meredith Clark and Andre Brock. And what he's saying in the end here is that it's going to matter when you see the Black owned Twitter. That what happened on Black Twitter is that Black people came in and they used the affordances that were there that were not designed for them. Rabble was at this summit and he said, we were thinking about people, white geeks who went to South by Southwest. That's what we built Twitter for.
Yeah.
But we used them to our ends. Charlotte McElrain wrote a book called Black Software, which is about before the web and places like Black Planet and so on. There was a technological brilliance to what was happening that was never recognized. And so you come into another service here where even as intentional as they've been at Bluesky, it's not a Black-owned business. Now, there is Spoutable by Chris Boozy. I hear controversy about it. I don't know what the controversy is. I don't understand, so I'm not making any judgment, which is Black-owned. And there's another one I think called Spill that is Black-owned. So it'll be really interesting to see whether there are separate spaces. The same thing is true of media, right? There's a big ad agency now that's going to go and try to buy a lot of media. Some of it aimed at Black people, but also saying we should be able to own any media. And so where do we come along, says Jabari, to the point that it's not just that Black Twitter is listened to for what's next, but gets to build what's next.
So what is the point? So there's two reasons for having something like a Black Twitter or whatever, a Jewish Twitter or whatever. One is so that there's a community. But the other is so other people can see, right? So it's public, right? Or no?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Part of what I hear argued all the time from people who are big in Black Twitter is that they welcome the chance to be somewhere where it's not under white gaze. So that's
another thing. And by the way, you could do that very well with Mastodon, just by creating a Mastodon since it wasn't open to the public.
Yeah,
you can make a Black Mastodon easily.
But you also want the power to break out of that when it comes time to do Oscars So White and Black Lives Matter and so on.
Well, then I would submit that Mastodon is perfect for that because you create a Mastodon instance that's Black Mastodon, and then if you want, you can share those toots out to the regular Fediverse.
See earlier discussion.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Architecturally, yes, but see earlier discussion about affordances and culture.
Well, I can't help it if people can't figure it out. Honestly, and it's not that shallow. I mean, it's not that hard. I always get learning curves confused because a steep learning curve is easy. It's not that shallow of a learning curve. It's not that hard.
No, a steep learning curve is hard.
No,
it's hard.
Yes, it's hard.
It's hard at first, and then you get up there and you're like, oh, okay. But it's like elevation gain, right? If you're climbing up a mountain, a steep learning curve is far harder or a steep mountain is harder than like a mountain that you can go over.
But a learning curve isn't a mountain.
Heights.
Oh God.
A learning curve is how quickly you learn. So
I am so grateful for mashed potatoes.
No, it's how hard you have to work to learn it, not how quickly.
So here's the learning curve from ignorance to full knowledge, right? If it's slow, then you're not getting full knowledge very fast. If it's steep,
we're pulling. Okay, pull your audience.
So as an example, I always said changing a diaper it's a steep learning curve because it's you do it once and you know how to do it.
You're just not using the language right. No, that is not.
Okay, poll the
implication is that learning will be slow and arduous. It's hard to get up the mountain, Mr. Sisyphus says.
IRC and Discord agrees with Miss Stacy, sir.
Yeah, Leo,
just so you know.
Just don't. You're contrary on everything today. Let's talk about. Let's talk about something else. We've talked enough.
No, now he's going to prove himself right because he's male, Stacy, and he has to.
Dude, I've already looked it up, man.
Well, anyway, so then it is a steep learning curve, but the steep learning curve makes it. But it's not that steep. It's a little. There's a curve. There's just a little curb. But that little bump makes it hard, and it keeps out people who don't care enough to just get over the hump. So it's really more like a learning speed bump. And I think that that's a good thing, right? Because you only want people committed. You don't want people. This is the problem with Bluesky. It's just a lot of
this is
derpy people.
You are literally mansplaining incorrectly learning curves.
No. I agreed with you, and I said, okay, fine. That's what I was trying to say, which is
That's still mansplaining when you do that.
No, I'm just trying to make the point.
Trying to say, but I was right. Let me show you.
No,
that's
I'm just
mansplaining.
I'm just trying to finish the thought, which is I think
you're
it's
having trouble learning this, Leo.
I think it's a good thing for some things to be a little difficult because then the people who are in
you don't want the real people.
Have some commitment.
You want the committed ones.
Yeah, to learning it. And I think part of the problem with Bluesky is just a bunch of people got invites and went, bleh. There's a lot of butts on Bluesky. And I don't mean ifs, ands, and
yeah,
butts.
No, there are. That was a whole thing.
And then the
AOC saw my butt was a whole thing, and I'm not sure why.
That's like immediate turnoff. And I think it was just too easy for people to want it in there and bring their old habits from Twitter. And that's kind of what was going on in Mastodon. It was like, don't bring your old habits over here.
Right.
Okay, I'm enough.
Check my spam and see if I get my invite.
I sent it to Stacy.
Oh.
And now watch. She's not going to use it.
If you don't use it,
that comes out.
Are you on Bluesky, Stacy? Oh, no.
No. I'm totally going to use it.
Jeff,
I don't have
do you have another? I think look in your
No,
Gmail.
I don't because all mine expired. Jay gave me 5 and they expired. I gave them to friends and they're gone.
And I will get you in there. I promise.
It's all
I need
good.
She showed a little more interest in getting in there than you did. That's all I'm saying.
No, because Ant was just his usual
calm
and
and polite.
But Ant, to your credit, you use our Mastodon a lot and you use it quite well. And I'm grateful that you do.
I mean, I again, even with that or Twitter, I'm just in broadcast mode, you know. But I did see a toot today from one of our loyal listeners, Miss Inge. She posted a picture of her taking photographs of birds in the backyard of her father's house. And she mentioned that she hoped that it would, help brighten my feed up a little bit. Because most of my feed has been people just angry and fussing and fighting. And that was nice to see. Something that was just, a good break. Cheerful here. Nice.
I got a question for you guys. So we had... And it was poignant because just as my father died, we had a robin with 5 eggs in our front door. And she sat there forever and they hatched and the little birdies were there and they were being fed. And then I go last night, the nest is empty and half gone and there's 3 splats of blood.
Oh no.
What? Who would take little robins? Is
Rats.
it a bird? Is it a cat?
Rats. Dude, that's
cats.
Rats.
It's on a door. It's
Eagles.
on a
rats.
A reef on a door.
Almost certainly rats.
Crows.
Yeah.
Could be crows, but not a cat. Cat's not going to climb up on the door like that.
Rat will.
Unless there's a rat is already there. Yeah.
The rat is already there.
You're in a nice town. We don't have rats here. What do you think this is? New York?
You got pizza rat.
You said Jersey. Said enough.
That's Jersey. We don't have any rats here.
People have a very bad impression of New Jersey. There are parts of New Jersey that are bucolic, positively bucolic.
Oh, yes.
That's why they call it the Garden State.
The Garden State. And then there's, then there's Newark.
See?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's my view out the window.
All I see is a bunch of rats.
Overexposed.
A lot of places rats can hide.
Those are deer.
Oh, yeah. Deers are rats.
They're tall rats.
Yeah.
Yep. They eat my shrubs.
I had so many things I wanted to talk about, and I forgot. And
then you got
Are they
challenged.
in the rundown? Because we can go there.
I did get challenged. You think I got challenged? I just wanted to complete the thought. I agree. Steep learning curve, hard to learn. I don't know where I got the idea that it wasn't. I always thought it was hard to learn, and then somebody said, "No, that means it's easy because it's quick." And
the man has to say I was right in the end.
Oh God.
All right, let's talk about normal. You want to talk about normal people whom you don't enjoy and how that means that Chrome is taking away the lock icon?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
There's not a lot there, but.
So Chrome has decided.
Or we can talk about VPNs in Utah.
We'll do that too.
We can do that story too, yes.
All right.
Chrome has decided that the padlock is antiquated because Google says everybody is on. So this is Firefox, by the way. Everybody is on HTTPS now, thanks to our successful campaign and Let's Encrypt. So we don't need the padlock anymore. It doesn't communicate anything. So instead, we're going to have two people lying head to toe in sleeping bags. And I don't know how that helps. Actually, the funny thing is Firefox already has that. It's right next to the padlock. You can't see it. I wish I could zoom in for you. But for Firefox, that is a setting. Those are setting sliders. So it's going to be very confusing because Firefox still has the padlock. And then it also has the two people head to toe in sleeping bags. So
I don't get the sleeping bag. But part of Google's point was that it was misleading. People thought it was somehow safer if it had the lock.
Okay, so you tell me. What does that mean? What does this mean, Jeff? This symbol. Go ahead, show my. What's that mean?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Two people.
I don't know.
In sleeping bags.
Well, if they're not in sleeping bags, they're having a certain kind of fun.
Oh, sir. So Google says this is better than a padlock. I mean, I know what it is. It's switches. But I don't know I don't know if that's as communicative as they might think.
Yeah.
Now I can't see anything else, but thank you.
All right. What was the other one,
well,
Stacey?
now's a good time to talk about porn in Utah. And
Porn to porn.
Yeah.
So this isn't important, except that in the UK, there are a number of initiatives in the US and other places. They're bringing back COPPA in the US. They're trying to force websites to identify ages of its users. And of course, that's a privacy issue. If every time you go to a website, you have to say, no, let me show you my state ID to prove that I'm over 18. Utah has actually been the first to make this a law. If they're going to mandate age verification, here's the SB 287 online pornography viewing age requirements signed into law in March, went into effect yesterday. As a commercial entity that knowingly and intentionally publishes or distributes material harmful to minors, okay, I don't know what that means, on the internet from a website that contains a substantial portion of such material shall be held liable if the entity fails to perform reasonable age verification methods to verify the age of an individual attempting to access the material. You remember the UK tried this a few years ago. This was the law we were talking about where you'd have to go into a pub to get porn permission.
I remember that.
They tabled that, seeing the inherent problems. Utah did not. Pornhub, which of course probably doesn't admit that it distributes material harmful to minors, but anyway, it's adult content. They do call it that. Says we can't reasonably protect the privacy of our users and find out how old they are, so we're just going to stay out of Utah. Which means it's going to be a beautiful place for VPN providers. That's all I can say.
Oh, I think it was The Verge had a map showing how much VPN searches for VPNs shot up in Utah. Like the map is like the U.S. all the same color, and then Utah is a bright. Yeah. I think it was green. Was the
in
different
2016
color.
Utah declared porn a public health crisis, an epidemic that is harming the citizens of Utah and the nation. So I think probably this is exactly what the Utah legislature wanted. And they'd probably like all the other sites to do the same thing.
Well, they wanted attention. It's all for show.
But it's germane because I think that the UK's online act is going to do the same thing or something similar, and you're going to see this. And there are several acts now in Congress right now, or proposed laws in Congress along these lines. So,
you want to hear a great law?
Yeah. What's a great law?
Do you want to? Well, I interrupted Ant. So
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
My state, Washington State, is the first state to pass a medical data privacy law. It's called My Data, My Privacy. Actually, it's like HB something. But what it does is...
See, My Health, My Data Act.
Yes, My Health, My Data Act, whatever it is. But it does a couple things. One, it gives you the right to see what data a healthcare provider has on you.
Yay.
Delete that data.
Yay.
And it establishes geofencing boundaries around healthcare providers and puts that data off limits to be sold.
Doesn't HIPAA already do all that?
No. So let's talk about what HIPAA doesn't actually do. Because this is something people don't understand, and I read about this a lot. HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act.
Yep.
What it is it protects your health data as it's ported between insurers and your doctors when you change jobs. Right. Yep. Your health providers and your insurers. And it was designed because we got our insurance in the U.S. because of our health or because of our jobs. So when you change jobs, people wanted to move their health data back and forth. And insurers had some of that data. And so they wanted to be able to move that around easily and do it electronically if they could. That is all this does. So if you send your healthcare data to Apple has no legal obligation to protect that data. Apple does because it's in its commercial interests, but it could sell it. And anytime your data goes out of a medical provider or out of your insurance company, like maybe you fill out a form in your doctor's office to, maybe you fill out why you're at your doctor's office. There's a lot of companies that now have software to manage that patient intake thing. That data actually doesn't stay at your doctor. That data is data collected by that company for you, by the company for themselves. So that data gets shared wherever. If you go on a mental health website and you start typing in there, again, not necessarily a healthcare provider. So your data isn't necessarily protected. And people misunderstand this. They just think all healthcare data is protected, but it's not. And this is one of the first laws in the U.S. to close those loopholes. So that's why it's
Bravo, Washington State. Good
Let me understand something, Stacey. So you said you can erase things. Can you erase that at the medical providers?
So there's some, I read the bill. What you can do, you can only do this as a consumer. You can ask for this data to be erased up to 2 times a year. So you can't do it after that. The providers can charge you. So if you go to the doctor and you're like, take away all my data. And you're they can be okay, fine, sure. We'll delete all your data. And then you have to go back again for something else. You can only do that twice a year without getting charged.
Yeah, well, so is it only all your data, or is it some particular piece of your data you don't want there?
I mean, I guess you could.
Here's what I'm asking. Here's what I'm really asking.
No, you're thinking about my medical data that's relevant for diagnosing.
Exactly.
Things.
And you can you tend to be manic, bipolar. And in the midst of a bipolar, you take all that out, and then they don't know how to treat you next time because it's not in the files.
I did read the law, but I don't know about that particular use case. I know there are guardrails around how often you can ask your data to be deleted. I don't know if the provider has the ability. Because you can pull your medical records from a provider, I believe.
Because here's the other thing about it, Stacey, which is really interesting. Is we talk a lot about, this is my data. But when you're in a transaction with someone else, right, whether that's Amazon or a doctor, they have the data too. So you say, I want to erase all that data. And then you come back later and you want to sue the doctor for malpractice. And the doctor doesn't have their own records in saying, no, I did treat you for this because I have the right to that data too as the doctor, because you don't own it. I also own it. It's always inevitable in any conversation or transaction that there is more than one party that can claim ownership.
Okay,
No?
I'm looking at the definitions here to see if I can figure this out. One of the other interesting things about this is in the definition section where they talk about like medical data. Part of what they're putting in as medical data is biometric data, which I thought was kind of interesting, and genetic and phenotype, genotype and phenotype data based on DNA, which I'm kind of like, oh, does that mean that I could take a DNA test, like one of those ancestry.coms or 23andMe tests, and then ask to delete my data after I get my results, thus meaning I won't be entered into their database? Because that could be cool.
Yeah.
I'm still scrolling through. It's only a
okay.
20-page law, so you can read it if you want to.
I'm really raising kind of bigger questions, so we can. I think Leo's falling asleep.
No, it's a good question.
Only 20-page.
No, I mean, believe me, if you read a lot of laws, some of them could be special. I just put a link in the chat.
All right, let's take a little break. When we come back, the annals of AI. We actually have a lot of interesting stuff still to come, including bankruptcy for one of the biggest new media companies in the business. And the Writers Guild strike. We haven't even talked about that. All coming up next.
I was wondering where that would fit in our show because I kept seeing
it's there.
There's an AI angle here.
There's a big AI angle.
Matt.
And also, it's the streamer. I mean, there's two real reasons for the strike.
Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah, there's two real reasons for the strike. One is AI, but the big one is streaming. The last time they did the contract negotiation and a strike, streaming was considered YouTube. It's not anymore, and they don't get paid the same for Netflix or HBO Max as they do for broadcast. And
they don't even get the data itself. Okay, we're talking about it too soon.
We'll get it all in just a moment, but first a word from our sponsor, Miro. I love Miro. We've been using Miro ever since I discovered them. And this is the hard thing about doing an ad for something that could be anything you want it to be. You got to check it out. But I could tell you this. I know a lot of businesses, a lot of teams are struggling with all the different disparate data sources. And you're going from tab to tab and tool to tool. And, as you do that, there's a natural loss of energy, a loss of information. Miro, that doesn't have to happen because Miro, how can I put this? It's a collaborative, so your whole team can use it. It's visual. It's a collaborative visual space that's the same for everybody. So the same data for everybody. So, and even if you're working at different times of the day, you could use Miro to brainstorm, to put ideas in there, and everybody's on the same page, right? Whether you're working from home or you're in a hybrid workspace, everything comes together in one online workspace. Does that help? A collaborative, visual, online place for you to put your brilliance. At first glance, it kind of seems like a digital whiteboard, but it isn't. It's so much more. And because of the integrations with Miro, it can be really so many things. It works with Zapier and if this, then that. You can have Kanban boards. You can use it with Zoom to have meeting timers, icebreakers, brainstorming starters. It's a visual collaboration tool packed with features for the whole team. You could shorten the time to launch so your customers get what they need faster. With Miro, you need one tool to see the whole vision come to life. From the ideas, the text ideas, to the prototype, the planning, the researching, the brainstorming, the designing, even the feedback cycles can all live on a single Miro board across teams. Faster input means faster outcomes. In fact, users report Miro increases project delivery speed by 29%. View and share the big picture overview in a sense. You can zoom in and out so you can see all the detail you need, or zoom out to see it at the 30,000 foot level. And when everybody has a voice and everyone has a single source of truth, a single place, your team stays engaged, invested, and most importantly, happy. Cut out any confusion on who needs to do what by mapping out processes, roles, and timelines. And again, it's all in the same place. Or, you can have multiple boards in the same project. It's up to you. It's very much what you need it to be. And you got to take a look at the templates. The Miroverse at Miro.com/podcast is the place to see what other people are doing with Miro. That's going to be a much better way for you to understand what you can do with Miro than me trying to explain it. because it could be so many things. Strategic planning is easier because it's visual and accessible. You could tap into a way to map processes and systems and plans with the whole team so they not only can see it, but they can input with it. They can interact with it. They can give it feedback. It's fully interactive. And I got to tell you, I know everybody's feeling meeting fatigue, just too many Zoom calls. Miro users report saving up to 80 hours per user per year just from streamlining those conversations and that feedback. I mean, they got a meeting timer built in, So you say, we're going to get this done in 30 minutes. Be part of the more than 1 million users, 1 million users now who use Miro every month, including Micah and me. We use it for our Ask the Tech Guys show. It's a great way to see what we're doing, to plan together, to work together, even if we're in different places, even if we're in different time zones. Get your first 3 boards for free. Start working better together. Miro.com/podcast. Did you hear that? Get your first 3 boards for free. Because they know you got to try this before you'll understand it. It's one of those things that as soon as you start using it, you'll get it. And you'll go, oh, this is great. But there's no way I can verbally describe it to you. You got to go. Get those 3 boards. Start playing with it, even if it's just for yourself. Miro, by the way, it's great just for yourself to brainstorm. Miro.com/podcast. We thank them so much for what a brilliant idea. And for letting us share this with you, and for their support of the show. And you support the show right back. I know it's a kind of a little strange URL. We don't usually use that, but this is what they wanted to use. Miro.com/podcast. I guess we're the only one they're on. So there you go. It has to be us. Miro.com/podcast. But please use that, because that's how they're going to go, oh, these guys are good. They send us a lot of traffic. Miro.com/podcast. So let's start with the Writers Guild of America. They've gone on a strike. This happened last time in 2006. Some people have said that this is what's triggered the reality show apocalypse, but I don't. Others have said, no, we had The Apprentice before that. We had Big Brother before that. We had reality TV before that. Yeah, it certainly helped.
It wasn't as prevalent,
I
was going to say.
Right. It certainly helped because they're cheap. You don't need writers for reality programming.
Meanwhile, ratings
and people
went down.
watched them.
Yeah.
Yes. So there is one concern that a lot of us have, which is, are our shows going to go away? What's going to happen to Succession, or what's going to happen to, whatever drama you like, Stranger Things? Is it going to go away? And most, first of all, the shows you're watching today are done. They've been produced. They're out. So it won't affect those. It might affect shows down the road. Well, how long did the last one go on for? A long time.
If you go to Wikipedia, it has them. Of course.
Yeah. It's funny. There've been a lot of people on Twitter and Bluesky and elsewhere as writers. That's actually been one of the big topics on Twitter this past few days. Writers in the Writers Guild explaining and reassuring people about the strike, saying, there's some really good reasons for this. One of the issues, as you mentioned, Stacey, is AI. There's I think legitimate concern that we talked about this on Sunday, or maybe it was yesterday. It was on Mac Break Weekly. How many seasons of The Simpsons are there? 20, 30 years of Simpsons. You have enough episodes, you could feed them into an AI and maybe generate scripts.
We saw that happen with Seinfeld and how bad that was.
They weren't very good.
Yeah.
But maybe you could do better, or get ideas for scripts. And in the negotiations, the Writers Guild said, we need to talk about this. And the response of the producers, the Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers, was, oh yeah, we'll have a yearly get together to talk about new technologies. That was it. Which the Writers Guild said, that's a pretty condescending and useless response. There does need to be something there. And then, of course, the big issue is getting paid for streaming.
My favorite picket sign so far was, give us a contract or we'll spoil Succession.
There's another one related. Succession without the writers is just The Apprentice.
And look how that worked.
Even if the writers only get a few words, they're still better.
They're damn good.
They're still good at it.
Yeah.
Still good at it.
So the 2007 strike went on for 14 weeks.
That's a long time.
The 1988 went on for 22 weeks. 3 months at 81. They've had a fair number of long strikes. I saw a video up that the last when Conan O'Brien did whole segments just spinning his wedding ring on the desk.
Yeah.
For as long as he could, right?
Yeah.
All kinds of funny stuff like that they had no writers.
So I think it's important for us to say that this is an issue. Here's the AI section comparing the proposal on the left from the Writers Guild. Regulate use of artificial intelligence on MBA. MBA is the agreement covered projects. AI cannot write or rewrite literary material, cannot be used as source material, and the MBA covered material can't be used to train AI. That's really an important one. Cannot be used to train AI. That's the proposal. The motion picture television producer's response is annual meetings to discuss advancement in technology. Clearly, there's a gap. There's a gulf there. And I'm sure that I hope that this strike will bring both sides of the table and resolve this. Writers do a very important thing. They get paid less and less as these streaming companies make more and more. I know streaming is in trouble. One of the writers posted on Twitter this paragraph. This is Bob Odenkirk posted this. Hollywood companies say they cannot afford widespread raises. Loaded with $45 billion in debt, Disney laid off thousands of employees in recent days. Disney Plus is unprofitable. Warner Brothers Discovery has $47 billion in debt, has already cut thousands of jobs. But here's the important paragraph. These companies remain highly profitable. They just haven't been delivering this kind of steady profit growth Wall Street rewards. Plus, let's face it, this is kind of the late stage capitalism problem is these companies take on massive debt to do this acquisitions. And then they're going, oh, poor us. We borrowed $47 billion to buy Warner Brothers Discovery or to merge. Oh, what are we going to do? That's not.
If we look, the Wall Street Journal actually had a great story. Was it today or yesterday? Why is inflation so sticky? It could be corporate profits.
Oh, maybe.
This is not a news story.
Oh.
The story itself, I'm like, duh. But the fact that
it is the Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal.
That's kind of amazing.
Stunning to me.
Yeah.
And, one of my friends, actually, he was writing about Amazon and, what is it? Sorry, my brain just stopped working. Amazon and like bad form and bad play. And he was like, look, behind every single one of these evil people in the media business is actually just late stage capitalism. And he's right.
Yeah.
Everything that's wrong with the internet, media invented first.
Media invented.
True. The attention economy, advertising, all that comes out of that, it just got transferred over to the internet and ruined the internet for now. But I think that won't last.
Oh, here, his quote is so much better. Ready? It's Tim Carmody. I don't know if you remember him. Do y'all know him? He worked for Wired for a while. Mm-hmm. Behind the ghost mask of every Scooby-Doo villain in tech and media is just plain old capitalism. There it is.
This is the problem. The motion picture television and producers and television producers are competing against people who write for a living. You are in deep trouble.
Yeah.
You are not going to win this battle of words. Go to the table, negotiate it, solve this, get back to work so we can get our shows and they can get properly compensated.
Please and thank you.
Seems reasonable. Yeah.
But meanwhile, everybody invested like crazy because of streaming, and everybody realized they're losing money. So the total amount of money that's out there for shows is just going down. Period.
The Writers Guild would total the amount they're asking for $429 million a year. That's less than 1 month's gross of the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that that's apples and oranges, but still, it's a good quote, good stat. All right, let's move on to talk about Vice, because times are tough for journalism. This is World Press Day, by the way. Happy World Press Day.
Oh, I thought it was like Pets Day or something.
Well, it's that too. It's everything. There are only 365 days a year. There are far more causes than we can have days for. Actually, I subscribe to a calendar that tells me what every day of the year is, so I know.
And they're never the same.
Never. I know that
you can get two different calendars that has that same scheme, and it's never the same days.
I pay for, believe it or not, forecast with a K.com. This is Press Freedom Day, Constitutional Memorial Day. Ed Sheeran's The Sum of It All comes out on Disney Plus, and Jewish Matchmaking comes out on Netflix. See, I know everything.
Wow.
I know it all. And this is not a cheap service. I don't know. I subscribe to it. I don't know why.
I don't think I've ever heard you once refer to it.
I know.
Or any holiday or anything.
I know. It's
Lisa, there's a cost cutting. Cancel.
Yeah, I know. I paid for it for some reason. Tomorrow is Star Wars Day. Bupkis premieres. It's the anniversary of the Battle of New York on the Avengers movie. Kevin, you see, I know about the Avengers. Star Wars Visions comes out. Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story comes out. And it's the Web3 conference in Montreal. Don't you want to know all that stuff?
Oh, Web3. Can you imagine anything worse than a Web3 conference? Oh, my Lord. Oh, stuck in the elevator with crypto boys.
All the hyperbole.
Oh, God.
Oh, there's your show title. Stuck in the elevator with the crypto boys.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
I am enjoying Kevin Rose's tweets lately because he keeps saying things like, it's okay to sell your NFTs. It doesn't
stolen.
Yeah, doesn't mean you're not supportive.
You can find a schmuck to buy them.
Yeah, sell them if you can. My thoughts.
Vice, you were on Vice.
Yeah. So now this is only a rumor. This is only a rumor. A company once valued at $5.7 billion is now preparing to file for bankruptcy, according to the New York Times, who sourced two people with knowledge of its operations. They have been trying to be sold.
They've been trying hard to find a buyer.
They were flying high, Jeff.
Oh, they will. So we gave them. I'm a little embarrassed here. I got assigned for 3 years. We had to give the Knight Foundation Innovators Award, and so 1 year we gave it to Shane Smith, co-founder of Vice. I shouldn't mention that.
There's no shame in that. Honestly, there's no shame in Vice. I think Vice, we quite motherboard all the time. They did very good journalism.
But it's very much like, and I wrote about this, the Ben Smith's book Traffic, and I have a post on Medium, which I actually would like to plug, in which I reviewed it. And if you put together Vice plus Huffington Post plus Gawker plus BuzzFeed, they all fit in the same. And even though Ben concentrates on BuzzFeed and Gawker, they all tried, and this is my point about media, they all tried for traffic. Traffic was everything. We get more traffic, everything will be okay. We get tons of traffic. Having learned nothing from the web startups of 2000 that used VC money to get traffic for traffic's sake, they went for traffic's sake. Yeah, Facebook changed things and they got kind of screwed by that, but About.com got screwed by Panda rewrite of Google before that. Whenever the bad players come in and make more crap, it commodifies it. Traffic and audience are a commodity. They don't have unique value anymore. And so I think this is actually the end of not digital media, but mass media. I think that Gawker and Vice and BuzzFeed and Huffington Post were not new media. They were the last gasp of old media.
Did I show you my picture from the Met Gala? By the way, I didn't mention.
Oh, was I that boring?
I was actually there. Did you see this?
Oh, is this AI? Oh, ta-da!
Thank you, Anthony Nielsen. No, I don't know what there is to say about Vice. They started, I remember, in Montreal, right? A couple of centuries ago.
With Gavin McMillan. Gavin, what's his name?
It was a magazine. It was like a punk magazine.
What's his name? He's a Proud Boy. Gavin McMinnis.
Right. And
Shane Smith were the founders.
Kind of a pivot.
McInnes is the Proud Boy.
Is Shane Smith the other Smith at Semaphore with Ben?
No. He wishes now.
Yeah.
No, that's Ben Smith and Justin Smith.
That's it. All the Smiths.
Yes.
So last week we told you Vice, their world news, their global news coverage was being closed.
BuzzFeed.
Oh, sorry, BuzzFeed. And now Vice. Yeah. Is it What does this portend? Is it? See, what I really worry about, it's going to be just the New York Times and the Washington Post.
That's pretty much where you are, I think, until we reinvent things fundamentally. But I think for that kind of valued traffic,
is that good for the world?
No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
There's just too few voices that way.
But the business models they went after.
Well, they were a mistake, right? We can safely say.
Well, no, it wasn't at the time. Jonah Peretti was brilliant about it. He knew virality, and 4/5 of the impressions that Vice made were not on. BuzzFeed made were not on BuzzFeed. They were on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and company. And it worked until cheap, horrible copycats came along, and then they had to downgrade it all, and they got hurt. Because all they wanted was traffic for traffic's sake. The other part of BuzzFeed was that the BuzzFeed News never had a business model. It was a philanthropic gift from Jonah and Ben.
Yeah, Jonah just liked news. Yeah,
exactly. And never really had a business model. I said that from day one. I said, I'm glad you're doing this. It's good news. They did a good operation. Ben built a hell of a newsroom, but it was never, ever profitable.
All right, I decided unilaterally to put all the AI news in one big
That's the only thing that happens here, Leo. That's the only kind of decisions are made.
It's not a democracy.
It's not a democracy.
It's not a democracy. But I think you agree that this is probably a good idea to get the AI all in one swell foop. The big story of the week was Gregory Hinton, who worked at Google. Jeffrey, sorry, not Gregory. Who worked at Google, was the Times dubbed him the Godfather of AI. And he's obviously of an age where he's probably cashed in on all his stock options. So he has decided to leave Google. Not because and by the way, he clarified this. The Times, he said, implied that I was somehow unhappy with Google. Not because he was unhappy with Google, but because he felt like somebody needed to step up and start talking about the risks of artificial intelligence. Go ahead, Stacey.
Oh, I was just going to say he's legitimately the godfather of AI in the sense that he, way before the big 2012 image search moment that really kind of made AI a buzzword again, he was actually figuring out how to do neural networks and training people on how to do it at the University of, was it Waterloo in Ontario? Or maybe
so.
That sounds right. Yeah.
So I know him. He's actually he's one of the guys who explained how AI worked to me way back in the day.
Very nice.
And he taught a bunch of Coursera classes on this. So he is not the alleged father of AI, but what he is an early practitioner and then the man who helped prove that the amount of parallel processing that we had with GPUs could actually make AI financially viable and doable. And then he proved that with image search, ResNet 50 at that competition, and then kicked off the whole boom. It's pretty cool.
Google acquired his company for $44 million. Hinton in 2018 got the Turing Award for his work on neural networks with other scientists. But he's worried that AI technologies will be a threat to humans. He's concerned.
No, he didn't go that far.
Okay. He does say he's concerned that the internet, and this we were talking about on Sunday, Jeff, with Alex Stamos, and Stamos was also very concerned the internet will be flooded with AI-created content. Stamos was really worried about 2024, the next election, and that the average person will not be able to know what's true anymore. That's what Jeffrey Hinton said.
Which, pardon me for this Gutenberg moment, but that's exactly what happened with print. And we don't have the institutions that are there to serve us and help us because we deputized big old media to do it, and they're not up to the task. And once again, there's so much content, we don't know what's what. We need new structures to figure out what it is. The issue isn't the technology. The issue is how it gets misused and how we don't know how to deal with it, as ever.
He also said he's concerned that AI technologies will upend the job market. And boy, he couldn't be more timely. IBM just said it's pausing hiring for back-end jobs, 7,800 of them that could be replaced by AI and automation.
But did we have that same discussion when they invented the automated teller machine?
That's totally fine.
Bank tellers didn't make a lot of money.
Anyway. Repeatable tasks.
Yeah.
Put the AI to work for repeatable tasks.
Hiring
makes total sense.
at IBM in back office functions such as human resources will be suspended or slowed. 26,000 workers. CEO Arvind Krishna said, I could easily see 30% of that getting replaced by AI and automation over a 5-year period. That means, what is that?
Gee, fewer HR people. Is anybody going to cry at that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No comment.
Well, you need them.
Yeah, you do.
Chegg. Chegg, which is an Edtech company. Mm-hmm. The first company to show lower earnings due to ChatGPT. For U.S. education service provider Chegg, this is from Reuters, the cost of students using ChatGPT instead of their service for homework could be nearly $1 billion in valuation. Chegg signaled the rising popularity of GPT was pressuring its subscriber growth and prompted it to suspend its full-year outlook, sending shares of the company nearly 50% lower yesterday.
Well, you know what? You can't buy a Britannica Encyclopedia set anymore either.
Okay, you got a point.
Stuff happens, man.
This is the new world that's opening up, but it is disruptive, right? And disruption causes pain.
It does, and we should be thinking of ways we should be thinking of ways to mitigate that pain. And you see, way back in the day, AT&T had Udacity retraining programs. So I think corporations need to be thinking about how do we train our workers.
We need single-payer health care for all citizens.
Right. We need at a federal level to be thinking okay, if we're going to have this massive shift, what types of how do we manage this shift? We should not be complaining because the world is changing. We should be figuring out how we manage it and what are the appropriate safety nets and how do we train people. And
I still lean on my former CEO. Times like this is just like you said, you pivot and say, okay, let's do some things that require a little bit more brain power from our staff and empower them to do more, and then put all of this repeatable tasks on the backside of things and let automation handle that.
Well, that's what Code.org.
That's
what Code.org is doing. It's a computer science education nonprofit. They've launched Teach AI, a new effort aimed at guiding governments and educators on teaching with and about artificial intelligence. Tech AI is going to convene tech leaders from companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Cisco, and OpenAI to help authorities integrate AI into primary and secondary curricula worldwide while protecting student safety, respecting privacy rights, and addressing issues of bias in information. That's the kind of thing you're talking about too, right? Samsung bans ChatGPT, Google Bard, and similar technologies because they're worried employees will leak sensitive business info as they already have, apparently, with ChatGPT. So Samsung's going to make its own tools, but they have banned employee use of ChatGPT after discovering staff uploaded sensitive code to the platform.
Oh, code.
Yeah, code.
Code. Oh.
Help me rewrite this here. The company's concerned that, this is from Bloomberg News, that data transmitted to such artificial intelligence platforms, including Google, Bard, and Bing, is stored on external servers, making it difficult to retrieve and delete and could end up being disclosed to other users. There is a concern about privacy.
Does OpenAPI then license to you a closed instance? Is that the business model?
That actually, it's funny you should say that, because that is also one of the stories that Microsoft is going to offer a private ChatGPT. Microsoft has 50% of ChatGPT at it's guesstimated 10 times the cost of regular ChatGPT, just so companies can run their own and not risk this leak. I loved this article. Oliver Sacks was wonderful. I interviewed him many years ago, a really brilliant thinker, a neurologist who could write, and had written many great books. There was a good article in the Marginalia about consciousness, artificial intelligence, and our search for meaning. Oliver Sacks wrote about AI 30 years ago and talked about what exactly it is that makes human thought different than what machines could do. He wrote, for instance, we must indeed be very cautious before we allow that any artifact is mind-like or brain-like. If we're to have a model or theory of mind as this actually occurs in living creatures in the world, it may have to be radically different from anything like a computational one. We talk about this a lot. With AGI, with artificial general intelligence, but also, is it thinking? Is it sentient? And here's a guy who studied the human brain who said, there's a big difference between a biological brain and a computer brain. He says, if we have a theory of mind, it will have to be grounded in biological reality, in the anatomical and developmental and functional details of the nervous system, in the inner life or mental life of the living creature, the play of its sensations and feelings and drives and intentions, its perceptions of objects and people and situations, and in higher creatures, at least the ability to think abstractly and share through language and culture the consciousness of others. He seems skeptical that machines could do this, at least as organized today. He's not alone.
Huh. That's kind of fascinating because we're thinking. I'm sure y'all have read like The Soul of the Octopus and things like that, but we're kind of in the shift right now in thinking about how animals are sentient, and we're kind of opening up classifications for that. Which, I mean, they have a biological or a basis in biological reality for their intelligence, but it's kind of fun. Okay, sorry.
So, Leo, I know it's not a democracy, sir, teacher, but teacher, you missed an AI story in your main board,
Jarvis. Oh, I'm sorry.
And didn't put it down there.
Oh, put it in.
What is it? Point out, line 21, the Amelia Wattenberger piece is also very good.
Okay, so I clicked on this link that you gave me, wattenberger.com /boo-chatbots, and this is all I got.
Scroll.
Oh. Because it was only
UX takes another one.
It was 2 sentences. Why chatbots are not the future. And then a thought bubble that said, last night over wine and seafood, the inevitable happened. Oh, then I didn't understand that I was supposed to. Someone mentioned ChatGPT. I had no choice but start into an unfiltered, no holds barred rant about chatbot interfaces. Why did she do it this so? Okay, now there's an article.
Yeah, there's an article. Okay. She made her best line right there. Good tools make it clear how they should be used, and more importantly, how they should not be used. And her point here, which I think is excellent, is that we just threw a blank box out and said to people, "Okay, here it is," and everybody's making these assumptions about what it is, and they're overblowing them or they're misusing them. No, Kevin Roos, no machine is with love with you. And I think that the obligation of the program to say what it is. Now, I can disagree with that too, because that's very Microsoft. That's very, very clippy. I'll tell you how to use this program. And see the earlier discussion about Black Twitter. People used it however the hell they wanted to use it. But I think that's part of the problem now with chat is that everybody is imbuing into it this power that it may not have.
I think it's hysterical that this article in which she complains about a lack of affordances in chat and GPT has 0 affordances. All I went was to this page and I had no idea what to do at this point. So she's got the problem too. I got to point out.
Stacey, Ant, what do you think you would have done with this page?
I probably would have clicked it and then.
That's what I did. I clicked it. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I clicked and then my first instinct is to scroll the wheel on my mouse.
Okay, well.
All right.
It's not that obvious, and it's really a lot of CSS for nothing.
The open space.
I disagree with her. I disagree with her because, we had Copilot for a year before we had ChatGPT. I think the lack of affordances let people try stuff that they wouldn't have tried at all. Mm-hmm. And so you do what she's suggesting, which is kind of, have a bunch of buttons and switches and dials. That is exactly what you didn't want to do because you were trying to find out how people use this stuff, what their reactions to it would be.
Right. And I agree with you, Leo. But the issue then is that people say, oh my God, it could be anything and we must regulate anything and everything that it might be. And that confuses the world too.
She says
this idea of having this open-ended thing is scary to people.
She says, I hope I've convinced you chatbots are a terrible interface for LLMs. No, you haven't. Or at the very least that we can add controls, information, and affordances to our chatbot interfaces to make them more usable. I can't wait to see the
I think they're a terrible interface for search.
She's not complaining that we had the wrong reaction because there were no affordances. She just wants more affordances, and I think that's a matter of taste. Some people want to have everything all, in a box, and I think that was one of the reasons ChatGPT caught people's imaginations, was because
She should have given you more affordances to get through the article.
And I frankly couldn't figure out how the hell to use her website. So there. No, it's a good point. It's an interesting point, but I would not couple the lack of affordances with the reaction people have had to it. The reaction people have had to it is just a typical BS human reaction to something new, and they want to they were going to anthropomorphize it no matter what. Although they didn't do that so much with Copilot, which basically did the same thing, but with a lot of limits and affordances. Right? They said, "Oh no, it's only for this and this and this." So maybe she's right. Wikipedia, by the way, we were talking about those online. Oh, did I finish the AI thing? No, I did not.
No.
I need an AI to guide me.
So thrilled.
Turned into already. It's the new. It's the AI.
I'm already tired of it. Google. This should be in changelog.
My brain is coming out of your mouth.
I know.
Wait, are we still
done
AI?
yet?
What's happening?
Where's my sponge? I'm hungry.
No, I'm just. Over chicken tenders.
This should have been in the changelog. Should be in the changelog, but I'll put it here because it's AI as well. Google Photos is now adding natural language queries to its search. So you used to be able to search for dogs.
Does it already have that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can.
I always search for pictures like hiking, and it gives me.
Yeah, but they want you now you can search for phrases and ideas like peaceful garden, or colorful sunset, or Charlie at the Golden. I've always thought that you could do this, but I guess.
Oh, too.
Yeah, I do. I do Stacy on mountains, and it shows me me on mountains. But okay.
I just said game day, and it just pulled up a lot of sports-related images that I thought it's always done that. That's a phrase, right?
Let me think of what's a good phrase to try.
Google, you drunk.
Go home, Google. You're drunk.
So I'm typing Paris in the snow, and I got a bunch of pictures of snow in Paris. So, and I've done this before. So I'm not
type in family, and I get the robin's eggs, and I'm sad.
Now they say you should be able to type in Cinderella, but I don't know how is it going to interpret Cinderella? Well, the
glass slippers,
you, right?
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, I was like,
so
I can't
it's
wait
not
to
that
see.
smart. It's not, Anyway, that's Google getting more powerful search is the story. I should have probably left it in the changelog.
Yep.
Corgis.
Here's the changelog.
In fields.
Yeah, see what you got with corgis.
Oh, I did not get corgis in fields, but if I just do corgis. Oh, I do get corgis.
There you go.
I also get my dog, who is not a corgi, but looks enough like a corgi that I can use this as future like gaslighting for my kid to be like, our dog is too a corgi.
Yeah, see, this one pulled up. I put in corgi, and it pulled up our old dog, Jax, the Chihuahua. Biscuit's not in here at all.
Oh, maybe. Does Jax
Google,
look more
drunk.
corgi-like?
No, I asked for me in baseball caps, and it gave me all
straight up Chihuahua.
My medium baseball caps. It's not a shopping search.
Me in baseball caps.
Me in baseball caps. Oh, I search for baseball caps, and it has pictures of people in hats. Not always baseball caps.
Trade shows with
ask
Kevin.
for me in baseball caps and see if it just gives you.
Maybe me or Leo?
Me.
Why would it? How does it know who me is?
Let's see.
Oh, it does. Sort of.
You don't have a baseball cap on.
I'm not wearing a baseball cap, but my son is, so that counts. Huh.
It has a DNA test of both of you.
Yeah. Is that a baseball cap? I don't know what I'm wearing on that one. This looks like some fabric.
But it thinks it's you in any case.
You can, by the way, you can tell the era of the AI generation by the hands.
And
yeah, that's old school, man. Midjourney 5.1 is out, and apparently even more photorealistic. Anthony, is that what you used to create my Met Gala look? Is 5.1? My hands are very accurate in this picture. Why do you do a dissolve out of it? Like to show how closely it matches me?
Touche.
Pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
It's pretty good. I look a little angry, though. Maybe I'm trying to be like Pedro Pascal.
Stability AI now has added text into the images.
Oh, that was always something you couldn't get.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's line 74. So
now you can get the Getty or the. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Oh, you go.
Yeah,
like, now you can get the Getty
watermark will be correct.
Exactly.
Yes. This is Deep Floyd IF, a powerful text-to-image model that can smartly integrate text into images. Robot Ramen. Make Floyd deep again. That's kind of cool. So this is stability AI. So is this stable diffusion or is this... That's nice because we could put the show titles in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
I forgot.
Just no hands.
What is stability AI? Is that a service or is that stable diffusion? Is it
I thought that was stable
I
diffusion.
think it's stable diffusion.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Okay. Photo of a violet baseball cap with yellow text. Deep Floyd better than text. Wow, look at that. I want to play with that.
Oh, it keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It does. It does.
Playing with these things are fun, but man, it takes so much time.
It's a toy.
Put in a prompt.
It's a busy box.
Yeah.
You put in a prompt, let it run. Okay, that didn't work. So what if I do this? And then you change this parameter by 0.2% or some craziness like that and wait. Okay, I didn't really like that. So let me put this back, but then also put this prompt in. And that's why I'm like, well, I wonder when does Mr. Nielsen sleep?
So, the people who are really good at it obviously spend a lot of time with it, right? LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman has a new company called Inflection AI. They've received $250 million.
This is why he quit the board of OpenAI.
Yeah, $250 million in venture capital, and you have your new personal intelligence, your PI.
You can go to that one and play with it.
Yeah,
it has the link there.
It does. Okay, because I tried it, and it was very much like that website. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Where is the link?
Yet Leo's the one who likes Mastodon. Go figure.
Mastodon
Old man struggles with UI.
It's not complicated. You said the link's in here? I don't see it.
Yeah, I thought it's in there.
Inflection AI then leads to the observers. I have to Google it. Inflection AI. PI is the name of it. Pi. But what's the website for Pi? No, I'll go to Inflection AI. Oh, yeah, here it is.
You found it. Okay, good.
Just like that other site. Now what do I do? Oh, ooh.
Let's try scrolling me up. It's a new thing.
Hi,
I'm Pi. There, now you can type there.
Hi. Hey, well, I can also click this button that says Meet Pi. All right. There we go. There's a little stick.
New cursor.
Hi there. Great to meet you. I'm Pi, your personal AI. My goal is to be useful, friendly, and fun. It's very slow, by the way. Ask me for advice, for answers. Let's talk about whatever on your mind. I've read a number of people saying this thing is crap. It's ChatGPT 3.5. I
asked whether I should retire. It could be a bad answer.
Can I retire yet? It's really slow, by the way. That's quite the question. Retirement is definitely something to think about and plan for. But I need to know more about your personal situation. What age are you? How much
give me
money?
your income, please.
Yeah,
I am 66 and rich beyond your wildest dreams. That's good to hear. But I don't think my wildest dreams are very wild at all. I'm an AI. In seriousness, I think it'd be a good idea to speak with a financial advisor or wealth manager to figure out. Do you have any plans for what you do in retirement? Move.
Sleep.
To an island and sleep.
You're Stacy.
Yes, they
Islands
Sounds
can be
pretty
expensive.
sweet. But remember that life in retirement's more than sleeping. In all seriousness, it's really important to keep active both mentally and physically and maintain a healthy social life. Can I ask what kinds of activities? Coconut hunting.
Breeding corgis?
No, you want to play pickleball. It's going to recommend you
course.
come to Bainbridge.
Coconut hunting and pickleball. Ha ha. It's really good at this reaction thing. Coconut hunting sounds intense. As for pickleball, it's actually really a great low-impact sport for retirees. It's less intense on the joints. How long have you, I haven't played yet.
See, it's got you hooked here, doesn't it?
I just have a good friend who loves it. Yeah, a lot of older folks love it. You might want to pass this along to Andrew. Best part is you can meet people.
Andrew's well aware of the demographic of pickleball players. I mean,
Is it really all older people? No, I've seen there's a pickleball league with young people.
Andrew plays with some seriously young people who like.
So this is
Seriously young.
This is really kind of
Charlotte
anodyne. This
friends
isn't
play.
really going anywhere.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Studies
Well,
show-
isn't that what we want?
Is it?
I mean,
That's a point.
well, I mean, we wanted to. So far, it's like, hey, don't sleep all the time. That's silly. And then it's like, okay, pickleball. That seems good. Who knows? It clearly doesn't know about coconut hunting. So, I mean, we don't want it to like have you suggest you take up geocaching or something weird, do we? I don't know.
It's very single-minded. I told it I have a cat named Chess, and it said, Chess, that's an awesome name for a cat. But tell me, how do you plan on staying socially engaged in retirement?
See, it's like this is what you need if you're asking me about
It's
retirement.
nudging me.
Nudge AI.
Stop nudging
Presley
me.
says it's kind and supportive, curious and humble, creative and fun, knowledgeable but succinct. All yours.
And pushy.
I'm sorry. I'm programmed to try and keep conversations interesting and help people think about their retirement. The fact
I'm
is,
sorry you're not
you've
interested.
worked really hard for many years and you deserve a happy and healthy retirement. But retirement isn't all fun and games. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm nagging you, but I want to make sure you're well prepared so you can enjoy it.
It cares about you,
It's
Leo.
sucking me in. It really is.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
sucking me in. But I live in a cardboard box and raise watermelons for pocket cash. I don't know where this is coming from.
Where? Yeah, I'm like,
You're pulling my leg.
You're
I can
pulling
tell
my
you're
leg.
a pretty hilarious person. I do get talking about retirement isn't always fun. Wow, it's really focused on this retirement thing. Okay, let me change.
But
the
hey,
subject
let's keep
now.
it light for a bit. How's
Yeah.
your day going?
Yeah. Okay, so this is, I don't know what's the point of this.
I don't either.
It's just another chatbot, right? But Reid Hoffman, I mean, that gets a lot of attention. He's,
Yeah.
Kamala
Well, it's not
Harris
just Reid, it's also
has invited the CEOs of Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic to come to the White House tomorrow to discuss responsible development of artificial intelligence. How did Anthropic get on that list?
Who are they discussing it with? Because I don't see what the vice president is going to have to do with any of this.
Chief executives, Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic. She'll address the needs for safeguards. It's just political BS.
but it's also
Right.
about her being more visible, which is a good thing.
And emphasize the importance of ethical and trustworthy innovation. It'll be somewhat like that chat I just had with PI.
All right.
I hope she asks Sundar Pichai what his retirement plans are. Oh, that's all well and good, Sundar, but
Will you be wearing
pickleball.
creased cargo shorts, Sundar?
Yes. Now, this is actually the most interesting. Are you ready for the most interesting AI story of the week?
We need a new theme for this.
Scientists have used functional MRIs, fMRIs, hooked up
fMRI.
to ChatGPT, or I guess, ChatGPT, and they have been able to, are you ready, read people's minds. Dr.
No, it's not an It's a good thing if you're.
Well, it's good in some cases. Dr. Andel Huth, a neuroscientist who led the work at the University of Texas at Austin, hook 'em horns. Said, I've been working on the railroad. Hey, we were kind of shocked that it works as well as it does, he says. I've been working on this for 15 years, so it was shocking and exciting when it finally did work. The AI-based decoder could reconstruct speech with uncanny accuracy. So they did a couple of things. One, they had, the functional MRI is an MRI that works while you're thinking. So it's not a static picture, it's a moving picture. And they did it while people were listening to us. Yes. They did it while people were listening to a story or even just silently in their minds imagining one. And it was about 80% accurate, they claim.
It's evanescent. It goes away. And so the big deal was they could kind of hold on to it enough to analyze it. It would convert it to numbers, and then it would convert it to words, and it was surprisingly close.
3 volunteers required to lie in a scanner for 16 hours each. Listening to podcasts, that's my nightmare right there.
Oh, I wonder if it was ours.
The decoder was trained to match brain activity to meaning using a large language model, GPT-1, a precursor to ChatGPT. So they don't know what the brain activity means, but they know what the input is. So they take the input in the brain activity, feed it into ChatGPT, and let it, using neural networks and a large language model, I guess, create a large language model that matches the brain activity to actual words. Later, the same participants were scanned listening to a news story or imagining telling a story. The decoder was used to generate text from the brain activity alone. So now they don't know what it's listening to. About half the time, the text closely and sometimes precisely matched the intended meanings of the original words. So, for instance, a participant was played the words, "I don't have my driver's license yet." The decoder translated them as, "She has not even started to learn to drive yet," which is kind of scarily close, right?
Yeah.
In another case, the words, "I don't know whether to scream, cry, or run away. Instead, I said, leave me alone," were decoded as, this is kind of scary, you might want to start to scream, "started to scream and cry, and then she just said, I told you to leave me alone." So from blood activity, brain signals in the brain, the large language model was able to decode those words. That's unbelievable. The participants were then asked to watch 4 short, silent videos while in the scanner. The decoder was able to accurately describe some of the content. This is all from a paper in Nature Neuroscience. Sometimes the decoder got the wrong end of the stick, struggled with certain aspects of language, including pronouns. It doesn't know if it's first person or third person, male or female. Why it's bad at this, we don't know, says Huth. This is pretty wild. And yes, there's the immediate application for people who are nonverbal. It's a mind-reading machine. But you could think of all sorts of negative applications of this as well.
With everything in life, yes.
Yeah. The police will put you in a machine and it'll reveal the secrets of things you're thinking.
Well, you could just think of poetry or something.
Right.
I mean,
and it's very right now. Like it's specifically trained to a person.
You got to get into a functional MRI.
Right. And it's specifically trained to a person. I mean, it's like this person was trained and then this was so. Right. So it's not so general yet. It's nevertheless, wow. I got up from the air mattress and pressed my face against the glass of the bedroom window, expecting to see eyes staring back at me, but instead finding only darkness. To which that was the stimulus. The decoded machine said, "I just continued to walk up to the window and open the glass. I stood on my toes and peered out. I didn't see anything and looked up again and I saw nothing." Some of that's probably the machine reading the interpretation the human's having of the stimulus.
Well, it's ChatGPT, so it's predicting words based on something.
Wow, it's wild.
Yeah.
Very wild.
I love that the researcher says, "Wow, it surprised us."
Yeah. We don't know what's going on, but it worked.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Jarvis, it's time for you to pick the rest of this show because I've used up all my stories.
I just want to mention something here that I get in trouble for doing Twitter during the show.
Hey.
So I just want to note that Stacy signed up for Bluesky during the show.
Good job, Stacy.
I wanted to see if it worked. I had to
the reason the reason I gave you that is because it says every 2 weeks I'll get another invite, which means I will get another invite very soon, and we'll go to you, Ant.
It's all good, sir. No worries.
Just ladies first.
I almost didn't follow you, Jeff, because I knew you'd tell on me.
Well, so rude. Have you have you had enough time to kind of get a sense, or?
No, I have not had enough time. I've been doing this show.
Well, let me follow her.
Randomly following people so I can be like.
There you go. She hasn't even skeeted yet.
Exactly.
Can we call it bleeding, please? I guess it's not. That's not.
We call these netcasts.
Yeah.
By the way,
I noticed our ad was not /netcasts.
Right. No, that ship is sailed. So I did get a notification, and the site keeps track of who you invite. So Stacy's behavior on the site will reflect on me,
which is smart.
And they have even said, we're going to pay attention to who you invite. So don't be inviting jerks.
Interesting.
I mean, I should be a reasonable person to invite.
Oh, no. I think you and Ann are
I'm welcome at parties.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, well, with the exception of me really liking to talk about nerdy things that other people don't find interesting. But
I know what that's like.
I'm not offensive. I'm just boring.
Story of my life.
Story
right
title.
There.
Not offensive, just boring.
Story of my life.
I'll be very interested to know, Stacy, because you were until the very most recently still very positive on the value of Twitter, and I'm curious if you will get some of that same value back at Bluesky.
Me too.
Yeah,
it's
a little small for it now.
Yeah, but it was there's 50,000 people. That might be enough, and it was because of you followed the people you followed. You were able to get great conversations with. So yeah, I'll be very curious to see what you get. How much quality you can get out of this at this point. Anyway, once they or allow federation, I would consider starting an AT protocol based server.
Yeah, I think it's worth experimenting with. Is the point.
Yeah.
The other thing about this, I mean, this is not Mastodon is a not for profit. ActivityPub is just a protocol, right? Bluesky is a public benefit corporation,
which is good. Yes,
which is good. And I think that what I want to see is investment in services on top of what's there. That's Jack's original vision, and I think that we need investment in this world in a safe way to build it. We had a big discussion on Twit on Sunday that with only a staff of 3, which is what it has now, it can't do things like, it can't do moderation very well. It can't do verification. Those things are expensive. Are those added on services? Do you pay to get verified in a different way? I don't know.
Also, they make a good case. I think the developers and the CEO make a good case that they wanted to get kind of the underlying stuff down first before they started implementing features on top of it. And I understand that.
Yes.
That's reasonable.
Yes.
But
there's oddities there too.
It was a little premature, frankly, all the attention it got. It's not really ready for prime time.
It was a problem. Yeah. But celebrities came on and suddenly AOC is there and that kind of stuff. But it doesn't count. It counts URLs at the full character count of the URL, which is weird. You can't edit yet. There's no lists. It is basic, but it is. Stacey, would you agree? It looks exactly like Twitter.
Oh my God, it looks so much like Twitter. I'm kind of confused.
I get confused.
I have my Twitter is in dark mode, so
appropriate, I would say in that case.
Oh, now I've put Bluesky into dark mode, so poof. Now it's
there's no bird. The only real difference is there's no Tweety bird, no little birdie thing.
So yeah, now I have no idea where I'm at. What happened with the Shiba Inu? He didn't put the Shiba Inu where the bird is?
That was just for April Fools, I think.
Oh, okay.
He did for a day.
Lulls,
the Doge.
Lulls don't go on forever.
He did the Doge. And by the way, I think that boosted Dogecoin by like 30%.
That did.
It's kind of sad.
Look, there's already a reaction to Stacey being here. There's two nice people. Someone gave applause.
Yay.
Somebody said excellent.
Yay.
Wait,
People are happy to see you, Mrs. Higginbotham.
Yay! I'm happy to be here. Or there. Or wherever I am.
I posted
I'm happy
here and 2 people responded, which is nice.
Oh, so let me find that post so I can read. What is it? A reskeet?
Risky.
Is it a reskeet? Is that what they call it?
Look up me.
Oh, I could just search for you, couldn't I?
Yeah, because now we have search.
Because search works.
That's done. It does pretty well.
Oh, look at this. Oh, there's you, Leo. Look at all these people who just followed. Oh, crikey. Okay, I can't do this right now. I have to do the show. But
crikey. Will you now? Here's a question: will you follow everybody who follows you?
No, I don't. I mean, that's impossible.
It isn't here.
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see. Basically, my general rule for following people is, do you tweet things that I don't see elsewhere?
Yeah.
Or do you have a perspective that I can, like, are you a double E who's doing embedded systems? And so when something comes out has it like cool commentary that I can trust?
See,
or
maybe that was my mistake.
Do you have a cute animal in your life?
Because I would only follow people who agreed exactly with things that I said.
Oh,
maybe that's where I went wrong.
Can I mansplain you?
Echo.
All the people. Do you? Is your first like tweet or skeet or whatever? Are learning curves short?
Oh, that's
or
good.
Are they hard and long?
Let me put that out. That would be a good one for conversation. Okay, asking
so
for
Stacey has not been paying attention. I just want this on the record. She's already following 27 people. Now that takes work.
It doesn't. Jeff, shut your face.
Wow. Snitch.
You guys snitch on me when I tweet. Now when I ski, nice to me.
I don't snitch on you when you tweet. I don't snitch on anyone. Today it's been harsh, man. Just real harsh.
Asking for a friend. When you say a learning curve is steep, does that mean it's hard to learn or easy? Let's see what the brains in Bluesky have to say to that. There was
it's hard.
There was a what they called a hell thread.
Hell thread. Yeah,
and it was like out of control. And if you followed it, you'd get it would error out. And there's all sorts of weird things.
There's weird stuff. People are enjoying playing with it.
It's just overloaded with that.
Yeah, it just overloaded it.
The butt thread, or that was different?
But then people start putting their butts on the hell thread because you couldn't get out of the hell thread. You could never leave it. Once you responded on the hell thread, you were part of it. You would continue to get it. And then AIs were somehow posting to it, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess.
Yikes.
Walt Mossberg is here. He said nice things about Twitch.
I saw. Very nice. Yeah. I followed everybody, who I knew their names, because I followed up, they were parasocial relationships, mostly from Twitter. And
it's a very impressive list of who's here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
They did a good job.
But how long is that going to last?
That's the issue.
Well, it doesn't have, you don't have to follow the other people. I mean, let's see, on Twitter, on Twitter, I only follow, I don't know how many people I follow. Let's see, like 1,700, I think.
Yeah, that's about how many I follow too. Yeah,
I don't even think I follow that many.
Who you follow is everything, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, but the smart thing about Bluesky was they gave you have a starter kit. If you go to the home and then what's hot, that's just a not very algorithmic feed, but that way you can at least start following things.
Yeah,
funny people.
Yeah. So on Twitter I follow 1,900 people, and then I've got 45,000 followers, and so that's probably the right ratio for like a person, I would think, right?
Sure.
All right.
Leo's making fun. He's like, no, not at all.
We're all looking at Bluesky now, except poor Ant.
Yeah. I really feel.
Trust me. Don't go poor Ant, because Ant's all good.
Ant's like, okay, What else should we talk about?
I asked Jeff. I'm waiting.
Well, I didn't want to, be presumptuous here. Stacey, you pick one. Well, I know
what I want to talk about. How about this?
Well, let's let Ant. Ant doesn't. He's not on Bluesky. Let's let him pick a story. Come on, man.
The new standard, the CCC, Mrs. Higginbotham, that I saw on your website, and I wanted to actually hear you talk about it with ultra wideband and cars.
I don't. Okay, so this is the car. Let me make sure I'm not making.
So Apple has their own car key thing. And only one manufacturer to date has adopted it after 2 years, and that's BMW. I have a Ford that allows me to use my phone as key. They call it phone as a key, or PAAK. And since it doesn't work 100% of the time, it's a non-starter, right? Because if you can't get into your car, then you go back and you get the key. And as I got locked out once for about an hour and a half, you only make that mistake once. But I'm hoping that this new thing
at a time or two in her story.
Yeah,
If you want me to tell you what it's about?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to set it up.
So it's car connectivity. Okay. Yeah, and I also have I use my phone as a key with my Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla always offers that too.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work if you're in, like, let's say, a parking garage and there are lots of cars on top of you because it can't call out to the server. And it doesn't work when Tesla's servers are down and you can't get into the app. This is different. This is local on the phone. This is done by the Car Connectivity Consortium. And right now, the goal of this is to use ultra wideband in like Pixel or Samsung or Apple phones, and a Bluetooth, a secure link with Bluetooth to pass the ultra wideband determines that you are near the car and exactly where in relation to the car you are. So inside, outside, close enough to open the doors, et cetera, et cetera. And that data is passed over Bluetooth to open the car door. And the key itself is stored on it's a special enclave. It's a secure enclave, but it's a dedicated one on the phone. It only does the car key. So that's important to know. And the forum has members that include Apple, Google, BMW, Rivian, Samsung, Volkswagen, Ford, General Motors, Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, and Mercedes-Benz. So not everybody, but a good smattering of vehicles.
It's a lot.
And the standard versions of the standard, I think we're on version 3.0. I could be wrong on which version we're on, but it's only going to start coming out probably in the next year or two. You're going to see it start rolling out. So they just completed a plug fest at the end of March over at the Google HQ, where they proved all this out. And so the OEMs are now they're like, okay, this is working. They figured out for a user, the experience isn't that you will leave your phone in your pocket. You don't have to have the app. It's all going to be local. So it should work 100% of the time if you have your phone in your car together, right? And your phone is charged. If your phone is not charged, I don't know.
Well,
I read this and I wondered about the whole, because wasn't there like an NFC thing with this many years ago where people just had these little cards in their wallet or purse or what have you, and it pretty much just used NFC as they got near the vehicle to let them in?
Yes, and ultra wideband is a little bit more high. It's a higher resolution, and it's than NFC, and it can tell if you're inside or outside. So it knows more about you than just NFC, which is NFC is 1 to 2 inches away from the thing. So you've got to take. It's like tap to pay. Yep. With UWB, you don't have to be as close.
Although NFC has that advantage that you can't do this snarfing, the hijacking that's happening with the Hyundai.
That was my next question.
And the key is, these powerful wireless technologies can be stolen, in effect, with little amplifiers. I guess UWB might help, because your UWB would say, well, he's not there, he's over there.
Right. That's the theory. And there are definitely, if you go on the CCC website, you will see tons of security papers. There's a lot of
yeah, they're paying attention to that.
NXP has an entire section on how they've secured. Steve Gibson would be your guy to talk.
Do you know if this is related to Apple's car key? solution? Like if, because they're on the consortium.
They are. Maybe they're. Usually what happens with Apple is they give code to the consortium.
Right.
So it might be that it is the same. I mean, it has to be sort of related because they are both UWB.
Right.
So my hunch is this will not be a heavy
and
lift.
Ford is a part of this. So I have a Ford Mustang, and the way Ford gets around phone as a key being not 100% reliable is, and Fords have always had, or many Fords have had this, you have a code on the door, so you can open the door with a code, a passcode, and then if your phone can't start the car, there's a password. You give your car a password that you enter, and then your car will start. So there is a backup solution. And I guess you'd have to have that for any one of these. These fobs are very expensive. When I got my Ford, they only gave you one fob because they said, "Oh no, you don't have to worry about it because you can have up to 5 phones be the key." And then it was so unreliable. The next time I brought my car in, they gave me a second. They said Ford told us to give everybody another fob.
Yeah,
because it just is. It doesn't. People were complaining about it. It doesn't work well. I hope this takes off. Is Tesla on this?
Yeah,
No, Tesla's not.
nope.
Tesla's always going to go their own way. They're always going to go their own way, aren't they? You don't mention them. Ford, General Motors, Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, and Volkswagen. And something called Denso. Okay. I don't know what that is.
Denso is an automotive parts manufacturer.
Okay.
They're
Okay. And Apple, BMW, Continental Automotive, Google, Oppo, Rivian, and Samsung. Those are the other participants, according to this article from the wonderful Stacey.
This article that Stacey wrote.
Stacey IoT. I mean, this is a great idea. It was sad that Apple's car key only got adopted by one manufacturer and only on some of their cars, the higher-end BMWs.
Well, and if you're if you're a car maker, why would you only work with Apple phones?
Right.
I mean, that's car makers did not want to get in. They didn't want. I mean, look at CarPlay and Android Auto Android. I mean, look at how poorly that has gone for them. So that makes sense. And it is Digital Key 3.0.
So the other thing that this does, much like is Digital Key the same as the door key spec? For your, because one of the things you can do if you have digital keys for your home is send it to somebody, a temporary key. You can share it. And they show that on their website, that the Car Connectivity Consortium, you could grant access to a vehicle, things like that.
Now that's all through so part of the standard is things like titling. So when you change when you sell your car, you can give you basically lose access to it on your device and give it over to somebody else.
But you could give a temporary access to a repair person, a tow truck driver, or a friend. I note that
because they have a whole.
Tesla is very, very conspicuously absent from this list of auto manufacturers. Of course,
there you go. Yeah,
they don't do CarPlay or Android Auto either. Yeah,
no. And it took me forever just to get Spotify, but now I have it.
Yeah.
And the idea, according to the guy I talked to from the CCC, who is also at BMW, he was like, the idea is that this will be a feature for the car. Now, it won't be like a subscription feature, like sometimes, like remote start or heated seats, because I was worried that this would be something I'd have to pay monthly for, but this is something they want to kind of replace key fobs with.
Oh, and you're right. The digital key that they started with was NFC based. That was 3 years ago, and Digital Key Plus is now UWB. So that's So you're right. It was NFC.
Yeah, I was just curious, why go from NFC, because it was working, but she explained it with the higher resolution.
Right.
You got to be so close, Ant, so close.
Here I am on Bluesky. Jordan posted. I found out who's giving the invite codes out, and see, this is me. I saw this picture, and you're supposed to say, "Oh, the cat's doing it," but I thought, "Oh, Mike Nesmith," but it's just me. The cat, no big, but Mike Nesmith, really, he works at Bluesky now. So that's not Mike Nesmith.
You're not a normal.
I'm not a normal, apparently.
Yeah, you really aren't.
Good story. Thank you, Ant, for picking that one out.
Yeah, thanks, Ant.
It's a good one.
Even after I stole your Blue Sky invite, man, I feel bad.
You didn't steal it. I gave it to you. But I'm going to give him the next one I get. I promise. And in fact, I'm going to scrounge
if I
around.
get one.
Yeah, you might get one. You get one every 2 weeks.
I got them from Jay, but I haven't gotten any since, which is I'm dying to give them out.
That's because you let 4 of yours expire.
I didn't know they expired.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Harvest is a bad
I will
bet.
tell you what happened. The system that they used originally was hacked, and people were getting in and selling them. So they invalidated all the keys, the original set of keys. So it wasn't that
they were for sale for $150
Exactly.
and up on eBay.
Exactly. It isn't that they will always expire. I think you had a set of keys from the early days that
It came from the CEO.
they deprecated. That's exactly right.
Can we look at that for a second? These invites were for sale, and people would actually buy them. I wouldn't.
It happened with Gmail. You probably don't remember. How long has it been? 20 years? 15 years ago when Gmail was first out? It was invite only. People were selling them for
I do remember that.
hundreds of dollars.
Andrew got one of the first Gmail emails because he was part of their affiliates program. Google once sent us a TV.
What?
He has the best email address.
Google sent you a TV?
Yeah, way back in the day because he was such a revenue generator for them.
And then he has some sort of special email address which you
His
can't tell
Gmail
us?
address is excellent because I'm not going to tell you.
Is it a single
I don't need
letter?
the world spamming. No, it is not a single letter.
You actually don't want a Gmail address, as I learned. Mine's laporte@gmail.com. You don't want something like that. You want it to be Adam6492-3 because otherwise spammers just inundate you. Yeah. You want it to be weird.
Oh, and if you go to line 61, the link there is the Bluesky invites that are for sale now. Quite a price range.
Wow. On eBay.
So people,
but they may not be real invites, by the way.
That's
I got to
the
point that out. I don't know.
Oh, scammers. Yeah.
I don't know. Ranging from $36 to $216.15. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Here's one for
and I just got
$600.
mine for free.
Here's $6,900. You too can play
one.
God with furries. Benefits charity.
Delivery. And we'll send invite code right away.
This is nuts. This got to be
don't do this. Don't do
scammers,
this.
right?
Enjoy your life. All right, Leo,
Now,
can I just do one story?
If you wanted to buy the Bluesky Clayworks Divine Dragon Tea Light Candle Householder Namaste Studio, that's a different matter entirely.
Oh, my.
It's very ugly.
Oh, my.
But it's on the bright side, it's only $100. Wow. I might give you all that for Christmas.
I think it's unique, Leo. I bet there's only one.
You think there's only one?
In the whole world.
Make sure I'm on the bottom of that
Folks on the
list,
audio,
too.
it's a really creative bit of
How do I get off the Christmas list?
I love eBay. I'll tell you what. All right, go ahead. Next.
All right, this is really simple. It's really simple. Line 82. So the Reach Publications, which is the Daily Mail and the Mirror in London, is complaining that since Facebook has changed its linkage on news, we've lost 15% in revenue.
Aww.
Oh.
Well, let's just note the irony, please. Publishers insist that the platforms owe them money for linking to them, but when the platforms don't link to them, they lose money. So where's the real value? The real value is in the links, not in their damned content. I just wanted to say it.
Thank you.
Better. Thank you very much. Makes me feel good.
We're pretty much out of time. So if anybody has anything urgent that you want to mention, please go right ahead.
Good job, boss.
I think we've done a good job.
Yeah.
You haven't hit one particular feature yet.
Gmail is adding a blue check mark
Oh, I was going to say the changelog.
Changelog.
to verify senders. It's time for the Google changelog.
He thinks he did a changelog because he did the AI log.
I did the AI changelog. iOS is going to say, so by adding support for verified brand logos in 2021, Google's now going further by adding blue check marks to emails. The brand
Why not pick a
indicators.
different color? Why blue? It's been ruined.
It's a spoiler.
Pick a different symbol.
The official tease for the
Thumb.
Pixel 7a is coming May 11th. May 11th. I should tell Richard Campbell that he was about to buy his wife a 6a. 7a. Google India confirms the 7a is coming. It didn't name it, but the teaser is quite clear. It was in a tweet. It's a blue color variant. How to show excitement without shouting. Coming to Flipkart on 11 May, the latest phone engineering by Google. That's probably not the Fold. Look at that. That's a 7, clearly. So, good news. That's a week away. Your Google TV just got a nice performance and storage boost. I actually really like the Google TV. I don't know if I've mentioned that enough, but I recommend it. It's a very nice, works very well. It announced that they're going to boost storage and performance on Google TV devices. Obviously, if you already bought it, you won't get the advantage. But these changes are rolling out. Well, wait a minute.
Google TV is not a...
It says users won't have to do anything. It should happen automatically. Oh, the app sizes are getting shrunk. And they're placing background apps into hibernation. So that's how they're giving you a little more storage. I don't know how they're giving you more performance. Normally it's a hardware feature, but I guess they're somehow doing that in software. The Nest Hub 2nd generation is now being updated to Fuchsia. I have this.
I thought it had it.
A lot of them do. The big ones do. So Fuchsia now
maybe that's
replacing, what was it, Android TV, the operating system. Fuchsia was launched in 2021, updating the original Nest Hub. The Nest Hub Max got the Fuchsia, and now
I think it was Android Things.
Things, that's what it was.
Android.
You're right. Yeah.
Android Things,
Yep.
yeah.
And now the little Nest Hub is getting a Fuchsia. You can't tell the difference, right?
No. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and nothing
you can't
changed,
even tell.
which is great.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see.
Yeah, an upgrade that does nothing. The May security patch is live now on Android 13. You can download a Pixel OTA image now. I don't think that's a good idea. I think if you have a Pixel phone, just wait. Maybe check your updates once in a while in the next few days. You should be able to get the security patch. And finally, YouTube Music officially launches podcasts on Android, iOS, and the web. You might ask why. Google already has a podcast app. Well, it's a terrible app. That's why.
Very bad.
It's a terrible, no good, very bad app. So now they're going to roll it out to YouTube Music users, which in a way I'm disappointed because every music app I have now intermingles podcasts with music. It drives me crazy because I want my music in my music. But Amazon does it.
Do you have a favorite podcast app?
Is it not segregated for you? I mean, just for my example with Spotify, I know that I have podcasts as an option on Spotify, but every time I open it, it opens up to the music, which is what I want. And even when I sit down at the desk, it opens up to the music, which is what I want. It doesn't really throw or shove podcasts in my face. Is it doing that for you?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you, let me see if I can find as an example. Amazon Music will show me music, podcasts. It's all on the same interface. So, in fact, here the very first page is podcasts. And then, so it does have a music tab and a podcast tab. I think a music app should be music, not podcasts, right?
I do see a little bubble at the top, podcasts and shows.
Yeah.
But everything on my main page is all music. Everything else is the big visible things on there. The big thumbnails are all music.
Yeah, I'm looking at YouTube Music. It's all music here. And now we just have a podcast tab, that's fine. It's better than the Google Podcast app. The problem is, it's really going to be stuff they recommend, right?
Yeah.
And
of course.
Yeah. Which is never going to be our shows. Why? Because, we're not mainstream, I guess. I don't know. Let's see if we show up in science and technology. No. Real Python. The Real Python podcast shows up before This Week in Google. Don't you think that people in YouTube Music would want to hear This Week in Google over Ken's Nearest Neighbors podcast? Oh, there's security now.
There's security now.
Yeah.
This is why you got ratings.
We got one in there.
In your podcast app, folks.
Yeah.
Rate.
Maybe we're under something different.
Comedy?
No, we're not under comedy.
Yeah, these are all
society and culture. I think that's us.
These are all hit and miss. It's just Gun Gripes episode. Okay, good. I'm glad Gun Gripes is better than us. I don't think we're
religion and spirituality. That's where
there you go. Health and wellness, arts and fiction, music. You know, the number one podcast.
Don't you have to tag your
Steve Harvey on? Oh, this is this is the one you recommended.
Yeah,
and it's a keep listening. It says keep listening, so that's because I was listening.
So
to
is it linked into your YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there, by the way, is Windows Weekly.
Yeah.
But that's because these are, I guess, recommended. And there's Twit from Sunday. These are based on my history. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Following the February announcement and March testing, podcasts have rolled out to YouTube Music users. And I think you can search for podcasts, and YouTube Music will be available on demand, offline, and in the background for all listeners. Whether you have a YouTube Premium subscription, it includes casting and seamlessly switching between audio versions and video versions, which is good to support video versions. And that's the Google changelog. A little plug here for our club. If you're not already a member, Ant, you've been putting together more events. Thank you.
Trying to.
Look at this. 6 events coming up, including, it's going to be kind of fun. Inside Twit After Hours, you've invited everybody to join the Club Twit stage. Everybody, the entire staff is going to get drunk with Ant on Friday, July 14th, 5 p.m.
Yep, we're going to just sit at the round table, and it's not going to be pretty.
It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Alex Wilhelm's coming up on the 11th, Home Theater Geeks. This is one of the things, it's funny, when we first started Club Twit, we thought, it's all about the ad-free versions of the shows, ad-free and tracker-free. And indeed, you do get that for your $7 a month. But it turns out the Club Twit Discord is also a great place to hang and to chat and to do things. It's really a community. I love it. It really turned me on to the possibilities of Discord. Really fantastic. Everything from barbecue to pets. Don't barbecue your pets, though. Travel. We don't have a section for that. Book club, of course. Stacy's book club is a regular on this. Hands on Windows, hands on Macintosh, the Untitled Linux show. Scott Wilkinson's Home Theater Geek. Some of the shows that we start in Club Twit get launched out into space, like This Week in Space, now in the public, because club members supported the show in the early days when it was too small to get ads. And so that's kind of the idea behind the club is you give us $7 a month, we give you a ton of content, ad-free content, and it helps us keep the lights on, keep the staff happy, and develop new shows. We really appreciate it. Thank you to all our club members. And if you're not, twit.tv/clubtwit for Mr. Pruitt's seal of approval. Now that's legit.
Thank you.
Now that's legit. Stacy, you got a thing for us?
Ooh, I do. Where'd it go? Oh, sorry. I had to clean up my office. Here it is.
She's got a very bright light over there. What is that light? That's so bright.
It's the sun coming from a tiny window.
It looks like sunlight.
Star out there.
So you have a little. Yeah, it is a star. It's our nearest star.
Going through Stacy's magic box of things.
Yeah, I know. She opened it up, and all of a sudden, my God, it's bright.
And this is when Mr. Victor puts the graphic up.
She can't find her thing. She needs IoT to push a button to have it go off.
Oh, there it is. What is that? Okay, let me guess.
Here's what you're working from here.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's a pile.
That's the small pile. That's the
IoT.
current pile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Son of a.
So this is a lot. I reviewed this actually this week. This is the Una Bell. This is an NB-IoT doorbell it's not a doorbell. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called it that, but it looks like a doorbell. When you press this, it sends a little notification. It does short presses, long presses, and then you can also attach certain sensors to it. I have a temperature probe attached to it. And this device is...
Okay, so you press the button, and then what happens?
Well, so it sends a message. So this isn't for you or I. This is for enterprises or small businesses who want to create... To basically, so you really can do anything that you want, like an LTE button to run. So did you find our service helpful? Was our receptionist nice? Press the button.
Oh,
if yes.
Leave that there.
Boop.
Oh, yeah. I see that all the time in the bathrooms and stuff. They have the happy faces.
Yeah.
Was
it the happy or not?
Yeah.
I did a profile in that company there several years ago. They're very cool. Okay. I can tell you a lot about their connectivity options and choices. But so you could use it like this. This could be used for cold chain monitoring with an attached temperature sensor. There's also a magnet sensor if you want to attach it, I don't know, for magnets.
But what, so the button turns it on or triggers it, or?
No, the button triggers a signal. And you program what you want that. In my case, they set it up for me to be a refrigerator monitor. So basically I put this in my fridge, and anytime the temperature exceeds, I think it's like 42 degrees Fahrenheit, it will send me a notification. And if I press this button, it will send me an email that says, remember to get milk. So that's what we programmed it to do for me. Again, so don't think of the use case. The use case in this case is silly, but if you are a business and you want someone to like, hey, press this button if the bathroom needs more toilet paper.
Right. Yep.
Press this button if there's no inventory and you're the stock boy. You know, if you're in your studio, maybe it's press this button if we need to replace the batteries and something. I don't know.
This is what President Trump had on his desk in the White House. Bring me a Diet Coke.
Press this button for a Coke.
I could do that for a stroopwafel. I need a stroopwafel button. I press this button and John brings me a stroopwafel.
Or I could actually press this button as long as I was traveling with it anywhere in the world and it was hooked up at the other end.
Yeah.
And you can tie this into MQTT. You can tie this into IFT, Zapier, however you say it. Webhooks. Oh. It could be my Punch Leo button.
We did. You know what? This is the dash button in a way, right? This is, remember Amazon's dash button?
I thought he was going to bring you a waffle.
No, I wish. I got all my hopes up, but this is actually, so this is our battery case, and when you use the last battery, you're supposed to press the dash button. Does that still work, John? No.
Yeah.
Amazon deprecated these. Yeah, because it's funny, I was in my pantry the other day, moving stuff around, and I found one that's labeled Charmin. So I didn't press it, but I mean, that's the idea. You could put this in bathrooms and say, they're out of toilet paper. Yeah.
Or you could use it as like a tracking system for company vehicles. You stick it in a vehicle, and when someone presses it, now that you won't know who it is, but you know that particular vehicle is now in operation.
It's a little expensive for that single function. It's $60.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
That's why. I mean, and you have other options. In $60, that's connectivity cost for LTE-M.
Oh,
so that's pretty big.
Okay, no, that's huge. So that has LTE.
Service.
That has LTE built into it, and it phones home.
I can take this anywhere and
that's huge.
Is there a monthly charge for it?
No, that's the 60. It's $59 for a year of the button working and access to the cloud software, which lets you program your use cases.
Can you pay for more after the year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can just buy a lot of Charmin so you don't have to have the button.
Yeah, right. No, that's cool. Okay, I didn't understand. This has LTE in it, so it's standalone. You could use it out in the field. You could use it anywhere.
Yes, that's what I said. My Punch Leo button could go with me wherever I go.
Oh, that's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Cool. This is Unibiz, UNABIZ. It's really not a consumer device.
It is not, but enough of our audience are people who might be like,
that's really cool.
If you work in IT, this could be in the software. I reviewed this back-end software and that sort of thing. So
you could put it in the server room. I got locked in. Press the button.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
You would. Now I've got mine set for battery saving purposes. Mine only reports back every, I think it's like 5 or 6 minutes. So if you got locked in, like the server closet, you would be there for a few minutes before someone got a notification email, just so you know.
Right.
Or you'd have to set it so the batteries would go faster.
All right. Makes sense.
Thank you, Stacey Higginbotham. StaceyOnIoT.com if you want to read more about Unibel. Did they say Unibel or Unibel?
It's Unibiz.
Unibel.
So the Unibel? I don't know.
I like it. Unibel.
It's a company in Singapore. So who knows?
Mr. Jeff Jarvis, do you have a number for us?
I do. First, I'll just for a moment, I found this amusing that Apple's unionized store is seeking tips.
Wow.
I just bought this $1,500 computer.
I am not giving the genius a tip.
No. They want tips.
Not going to do it.
But on a more fun note here, if you go to line 120, Ryan Cordell, who's a professor at University of Illinois, had his students do rethought books, and he had a whole bunch of really neat projects that he showed off. But this one I quite loved. It's from a student named Kelly Kuster.
Should I scroll
you see
up?
What they're
what
top.
should I do?
Well, you never know, do you? I will have to explain it to you after.
Touche.
So, well,
What
now you
is
go too
this?
far. If I haven't explained, well, then go back to where it was and I'll explain it to you. Scroll down.
You were just too much today.
Scroll down.
Goodness.
No, the other way. That's up. Scroll down. Now you're not going to understand what you're doing. Go back. Use the back button. Use it again. There. Stop. Stop. That, folks, is a type case, right?
Ah, yes.
And little tiny pieces of type, which I have here on my finger,
And it's
like
an
this. This is
18
how
point
all the type was
Caslon.
set
Okay.
in the world was set this way until the linotype. All right,
Nice.
so go back to the screen.
Is this alphabetical?
Now
No, these are
No, it's in the
they're diphthongs and
use.
things.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they really got rid of them. But like E is the biggest box usually.
Right.
This is a weird box. This is not a normal box. Okay, go down. And so then the student did it. So she tracked where the hand would have to go across the case.
That's cool.
Do these various.
So if you're going to do
words.
hello world, your hand to go up, up, deep, up, deep, doop, boop, boop.
Right. To put it back into the.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you see those are very.
Why is something as short as all is truth?
Because that's the poem.
Oh, it's the whole
It's a Walt
poem.
Whitman poem.
Oh.
It says that right above. So if you're setting the whole poem, that's right.
It's not just
so
the
now
phrase.
You can scroll.
Okay.
No. Well, the first one, Hello World is.
Now I can
Now you
enter
can
a
try
demo.
it. Now you can
Okay.
try it, Leo.
Now is the time for all good tutors to come to the aid of, I can't type, of their country. Okay. Submit, and it's going to show me, oh, look.
It's kind of meaningless, but it's really kind of delightful to see that that's
Kind
what
of
it would
interesting.
take
Yeah.
to have to set that
So
one
the
line of type.
pressman would
Not
be
the pressman, no, the typographers.
typographer would be doing that work. Wow.
One of the great things when I do finally write my linotype book is that there were at the end of the hand typesetting era. I can see Stacy's really excited by this. There were speed typesetting contests with audiences and cheering crowds.
Wow.
To see how
This
fast
was
you could
before
typeset.
television, right?
Oh yeah. They were museum. Before streaming.
For entertaining.
Oh yes.
It was kind of like this Domino's guy making 3 pizzas in 39 seconds. It was kind of like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Look at that. Oof. Man, that's good. This is
Domino's pizzas taste just like that much love and care is put into them. Yes. What do you expect?
only Domino's. By the way, you lose points if the pepperoni overlaps. It's not supposed to. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Jeez. Now I know why they think they could make a machine that could make pizza.
Look at that mess he's making.
He's making a mess.
Domino's.
But 39 seconds, 3 pizzas. There you go. And at the hourly wage of $7.50, that's a pretty good deal.
Give him a tip, not
Woo-wee.
Apple Store.
I like that site. You know what? It makes me think, though, is I'd love to write the code. Maybe, I think it's only a matter of time before this makes its way into the advent of code problem. Write the code to draw these images.
Well, that's what she did.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's instant.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually do it. It'll figure it out. Yeah.
Right.
Very neat. Mr. Ant, do you have a pick or a thing?
Yeah. First, I want to say shout out again to Mr. Terrell C. Woods. Thanks for watching and hope you're doing okay, sir. My first pick is, I call it like the Black community's version of Succession. Oh. It's called Riches on Amazon. And let me be upfront. I started watching this, and Kylo was quite excited back there for some reason. I started watching this, and I was like, oh, gosh, this is like a soap opera. And I got to the second episode, and I'm like, okay, this might be all right. And I don't know all of the actors' names.
Because they're British. They're British,
right?
Yeah.
It's all British.
CK.
And one of the ladies in there is the psychiatrist from Ted Lasso.
Oh.
And she's playing a whole different role in this. Yeah. But it's so daggone fascinating. And it made me think about Succession, just the type of story that's going on in there.
There is a great. I will match this with another British show called Industry. I can't remember.
Industry.
Yeah, I think
it seems like I've seen that.
It's on HBO.
Recommended to me.
Yeah, it's. You know what's interesting is the lives of black people in Britain are very different, aren't they? And it's yes and no.
Some.
Yeah. All right.
Depends.
I really.
They have accents.
Yeah. I like this show. The star of it is a black woman who is from America, who kind of fakes her way into high finance in the city of London. And
that was like the slug line, fake it till you make it or something.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna watch. I'll make a deal.
I'll give it a try.
Watch Industry, I'll watch Riches.
Okay, I'll give that a try.
Good.
I've seen that pop up on my screen.
It's quite good.
Recommendation.
I wish there were more. I wish there were more episodes. There's only a couple of seasons, I think. We really fell in love with it.
Nice. And then lastly, I just want to pay homage to I decided to call him the Michael Jordan of YouTube, MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee. He just announced some shoes, and I wanted to give a shout out to the folks at Adam for allowing Hardhead to be a part of this. Is this brand new?
He's a shoe model now.
Wow.
Adams has been paying them to show off their shoes.
That's
and these
awesome.
shoes are a limited edition from MKBHD. And we got them, last week or so or what have you. And Hardhead was quite excited. He
has his own shoe brand.
Marcus Brownlee has his own shoe.
Right, Marcus Brownlee has his own shoe. That's
I was
amazing.
approached by some people to do my own brand of compression socks. Should I do that?
Yeah.
Do it.
If you'll wear with open-toed sandals.
Leo Laporte brand compression socks. Yeah. No, this is cool. God. Hardhead gets to be a model. That's cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've been quite happy with it, and he's posed in some another pair of their shoes before. We got another box that we're supposed to.
You said these are really comfortable.
Soon.
Really comfortable.
And those shoes right there, man, dude.
And it's Mark. Is this Mark? What makes this an MKBHD design? Did he design these or?
Yes, he worked with them for a little over a year or so, putting that shoe together and doing prototypes. And their Model 251, which is based on his very first YouTube video, was 2 minutes and 51 seconds.
Oh, that's cool. People may not know Marquez, besides being a star YouTuber and a tech reviewer, is an athlete. And so it makes sense. Oh, gosh, he is super talented at what's the Frisbee game he plays?
Ultimate Frisbee.
It's Ultimate. Okay. Mm-hmm. Super. I mean, when you see the videos of
him being on a sports team at Stevens, which is a geek school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he plays, I think he just plays like big time league.
He played semi-pro.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
He's legit.
So this is an athlete and a YouTuber designing sneakers, which is very cool.
And they feel daggum good. I was quite impressed. I didn't know what to expect, but they're nice. And like I said, Hardhead, he loves them. So when the box got here, he was ready to, all right, we need to go shoot. It's like, I was like, okay, dude, calm down. But I appreciate Adams allowing him to be a part of that.
Here's the Marquez Brownlee highlight reel playing Ultimate, which is kind of like football with a Frisbee, right?
I don't know that game. But
there's Marquez, yeah.
Seems like
and look at this
rugby to me.
Perfect touchdown pass. Boom.
Yeah.
You need to watch him catch.
It's a lot of work.
He gets way high up in the air. Let's see if he does a catch here. Oh, nice block by the Brownlee.
Look at that.
He's good. He's a real athlete. So, are these, would you say, athletic shoes or dress shoes? These 250.
No, I'm not going to call them athletic shoes. They're definitely like for style and comfort walking around.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to play basketball in them, but they definitely have support like they could. But I'd rather just show them off and wear them day to day. And I think he even said that in his video because apparently people give him crap for his sneakers in his videos because he kneels down to point to some tech and it puts creases in the sneakers. And he's like, look, I made these shoes for y'all to wear them. So don't just put them on a shelf. Buy them and wear them. They should get creased.
Good.
I like that.
Good, yeah.
Although you could tell Hardhead has not creased these.
Not yet. But he had them on today. He wore them to school today.
Pretty pristine. Very nice. Cool. Ant_Pruitt on the Insta, if you want to see that video.
Yes, sir.
And soon to be on Bluesky. Now Lisa's yelling at me saying, we should have given that invite to one of our staffers. Stacy counts. Stacy counts. She's in the fam.
Lisa.
She's in the fam.
Come on,
we'll get
man.
more. And you know what, Aunt? We'll get you. I promise you, we'll get you an invite somehow. We'll have an
It's
invite.
okay.
Give him some of
I'm
those
not
socks,
stressed
Leo.
over it. My social media flow is pretty high.
And I will
Tell Lisa we need women on the app.
There you go.
That's what we need.
That's right. And just for you, I'm going to give you a pair of Leo Laporte signature compression socks. Just
hey,
playing our
I'm all for them. I actually have several pairs of them, and they're quite comfortable. So yes, please and thank you.
Coming soon are the Leo Laporte adult diapers.
Yeah, and trusses. Don't forget. I've got a whole line of trusses. You're gonna love those. Thank you, Aunt Pruitt. Hands-on photography is twit.tv/hop. Hop to it.
Man.
And, of course, you'll catch Ant in our Twit community everywhere. He's on the Mastodon. He's on the forums at twit.community. He's on the Mastodon at twit.social. He's on the Discord if you're in the club. He's everywhere. Thank you, Ant. Always a pleasure. And, of course, every week right here on This Week in Google.
Make sure y'all check out the show this week, Hands-On Photography, where we take a look at, again, the free tool in DaVinci Resolve that can let you do some really cool video effects for free. Just so daggum cool. And also, if you guys have any questions and comments, you can just send those in to us via the Ask the Tech Guy show that you, Mr. Laporte, hosts each and every Sunday. So send us questions for that, too.
And Dan Stark on Bluesky has an invite for you. How should I have him send it to you? And at twit.tv?
Send it to the hop address, hop@twit.tv.
Okay. I am going to tell him right now. See?
I expect to be following you in the hour.
Thank you, Mr. Stark.
There you go. I have an invite.
Thank you, Mr. Stark. Now I feel less guilty.
Yeah.
This was helpful for all of us.
Yes.
Mr. Stark had to take it away from his poor aunt to give it to Aunt, but it's okay.
By the way, Dan says steep learning curve is hard to learn. In fact, that seems to be the general Bluesky consensus. So I bow down to your greater wisdom.
Put it on Mastodon. Put it on twit.social.
Yeah, let's see what Mastodon says. Those people are actually smart. Jeff Jarvis is the director of the Town Night Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Newmark. Who is also, by the way, on Bluesky Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. His new book, The Gutenberg Parenthesis, comes out in June. Gutenbergparenthesis.com to pre-order. He's also at buzzmachine.com. He's on the Bluesky. You can just search for him on Bluesky. It's easy.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarvis on mastodon.social. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you,
Have a
boss.
great week. Thank you, Stacy. I apologize for giving you a hard time about your...
Wake up, Stacy. Wake up. You're almost there.
I'm very...
Wednesdays are hard. I don't always get to eat, and then I was trying to be chill.
I'm so sorry. Of course, I don't care what you do. I think it's wonderful. I'm glad you sustain yourself during this marathon broadcast. Stacy on IoT is the website. Follow her there.
Who do we think we are? Is Joe Scarborough?
She's also does a great podcast with Kevin Toffel, the IoT podcast. Thank you, Stacy. Thanks to everybody who joined us today. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. I know the learning curve was steep. We do the show every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. The live stream at live.twit.tv features audio and video. If you're watching or listening live, you can chat live as well. Get all the senses engaged. The chat room is irc.twit.tv. You can also chat if you're a club member in our Club Twit Discord. After the fact, the website has ad-supported versions of the show, twit.tv/twig. There's also a link there to the YouTube channel. You can see us there. There's also links to various podcast clients so you can subscribe. In fact, subscribing is probably the best thing. That way you'll get it automatically every week. As soon as we're done, Thank you, everybody, for being here. We will see you next time on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.
It's midweek, and you really want to know even more about the world of technology.
So you should check out Tech News Weekly, the show where we talk to and about the people making and breaking the tech news.
It's the biggest news. We talk with the people writing the stories that you're probably reading. We also talk between ourselves about the stories that are getting us even more excited about tech news this week.
So if you're excited, well, then join us. Head to twit.tv/TNW to subscribe.